Sleepy town settling for the night, where the Owens women live their lives. And it's about time that the back porch light comes on at that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street. Hey, witch, hey.
Hey, Witch, hey.
Hey, you guys.
How are you?
What's going on? What's good in the hood?
I'm excited to talk about this topic because of what you did this week.
Oh, yeah.
The timing is perfect.
Impeccable.
Impeccable. Shallow and pedantic.
But you had written these notes before I even did that.
I know, but the way it got scheduled out,
Yeah.
it was this week that it came up. It's
It
pretty
is
cool.
very, very strange how things just
Oh, man.
align. The planets aligned.
What's good in your world?
All right. So should we tell our listeners what I did this weekend?
Well, we are talking about Wisteria today.
Mm-hmm.
And earlier in the week, Justina marcoed me from Home Depot.
This was literally
With
2
this-
days ago, not earlier in the
Yeah.
week. It was like a day ago. So yeah.
Semantics. And she was like, should I get it? I don't know. Should I get it? I was like, get it. And Avi is playing. And he's like, I don't know about this. What was he saying off the Marco? Because I'm interested. What was his reasoning for not wanting to get it? Because he didn't want it climbing on the house?
No, he was just, I don't know. I think I've mentioned Wisteria before, and he just like never knew what it was. And then we were on our way to, I think, a wedding or something, and some house along the way had it in their backyard, and it was like climbing up the house, and it was like beautiful, freshly bloomed, beautiful bright purple blooms. He's like, ooh, what's that? I was like, that, my dear, is a wisteria. And he's like, oh, that's what it looks like? I think he just never knew what it looked like or what it was. So I planted the bug in his ear. So then this past weekend, we went to Home Depot, and I've been kind of keeping an eye out for it, but like I don't think I've ever seen a wisteria plant in like your local nursery, like a Lowe's or a Home Depot. I don't think I've ever seen a wisteria plant in Lowe's or Home Depot near me. So I saw it and I was like, I don't know how long these are going to be here. I need to get one. So I was like kind of asking him. I was like, should I get it? I don't know. He was like, is it a vine? Is it a shrub? Like, what is it? I was like, well, I don't know. I
Because
think
it said shrub.
it said shrub. Yeah.
But traditionally they climb, right?
Right. But I think you plant it in the ground like you would a shrub, and then like you just put it next to some kind of lattice or something that it can climb up, or a trellis or something of the sort, right? So
yeah.
I marcoed you, and I was like, what are your thoughts? Like, this says shrub. I know these are traditionally a vine, but I've seen wisteria like trees, like smaller trees, like a lilac tree. Like I've seen people plant them in the center of their front yards more as a tree, not as a vine.
I think there's one called like Chinese blue something. And I know I've seen that as like a little, it looks like a tiny little weeping willow. They're cool.
Yeah, kind of like that. I think those are maybe the ones that I've seen on people's front lawns. They have them more as trees and not as vines per se. So I was confused. I was like, so this says shrub. So do I grow this like a tree or do I grow this like a vine? I've never had a wisteria before. So I'm new. I don't know anything. So I hit up my little BFF Witchy Poo over here, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? Should I get it? And you were
and
like,
of course, my Gemini ass.
get it. You should do it. Do it now. No, but you were like, that's the same exact one that I have. So I felt
It'd be fine.
confident. I felt confident in my purchasing choice. So then I told Avi that it was a vine, and that, you know, what you said, that it was the same one that you had. And he was like, all right, go get it. He was like, pick out a good one. Don't be an asshole.
And then, so you're happy with your new little baby plant. You're so happy. And then yesterday you marco me.
Well, before I marked you, when we were at the checkout buying the one that I bought this past weekend, he's like, I see him on his phone doing his little thing with his little thumbs. And I was like, what are you doing over there with your thumbs? He's like, I peek over. He's looking up how to bonsai this thing. I'm like, and didn't I tell you like a couple, was it this past weekend as well? Which was like really weird.
Yeah, it was like 3 days ago.
That I mentioned that I was like, hey, look at this. Avi's outside bonsaiing
Look at
stuff.
this cute husband of mine bonsaiing everything in the yard.
Seriously, he's killed a few. So his track record's
They're
not the
hard to take care of. I think Aaron and I have killed at least three. We really, really wanted one. And they come really cute sometimes with
Uh-huh.
like tiny little ponds and little
Mhm.
figurines. And we had one with like a guy fishing, and like that shit
Yeah.
didn't last more than like 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
We killed it so
His
fast.
his for the longest time, the one he had in the backyard, not a wisteria bonsai, by the way, just like a your run-of-the-mill juniper bonsai, whatever. It's looked like Cruella de Vil for like a year now. Like it's half of it is green, the other half just went white because
Oh,
he just
oh
like
man.
I don't know
Poor
what
thing.
happened. I don't know what happened along the way, but it
Oh.
didn't. It's not doing well. And then he bought a new one, and he just bonsai that. Yes, or the other day when I marked you, and I was like, "Look at my husband bonsaiing stuff outside." He like trimmed it and pruned it, and then like the next day, it was like a little crusty looking. He's like, "It's dying
The
already."
wisteria?
No, 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 no. Like
Oh,
just a
oh, oh.
regular, like another juniper or something that he bought that he just bonsaied.
I wonder if it's like too much at once, like it's going into
Yeah.
shock.
It's a shock. Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, so when I saw him at the checkout counter as I was checking out with my wisteria that I'm so proud that I just bought, I was like, "You're not bonsaiing this." I marcoed you and I was like, "Look at it. Look at him." After I just
Uh-huh.
told you about his bonsai obsession, I was like, "Look at him. He's
Uh,
looking up how to bonsai this thing." And I was like, "No, you're not touching this." So, yeah, so now fast forward to yesterday. I get home from work and I pull in my driveway, and he's behind me, right? I see him pull up behind me, and I see him giving me this like look, like I did something.
a little
I did
shifty look.
something. Yeah, a little shifty look. He's like, I did something, and I had just like finished marcoing you. And he gets out of his car, and he's kind of like doing the whole like cowering thing behind his like. And I was like, just show
He's
me, what did you get?
hiding.
What did you get? And I see him pull another wisteria out of his trunk. I was like, you did not. You did
For
not.
himself. But
For
you had
himself.
Marcoed me when he was already standing beside it, and you were like, this motherfucker's about he's gonna bonsai this wisteria, or he already did. I don't know. He was just standing there. I thought he was already cutting into it, and I thought it was yours. I was like, oh no, he's in so much trouble, because you were still in your car looking out the car window at him standing very, very suspiciously next to
He
this wisteria
was.
plant.
He was very suspicious, but plot twist, he bought another one to bonsai, so we'll see how that goes. I hope he doesn't kill it.
Wisteria Club. I'm so excited
Wisteria
for
Club.
you.
It's so
Dude,
exciting. It's
I'm
like,
so happy
oh,
for you.
Punky, come on. Hold on. Hat in the way. So yeah, I feel like it's like a rite of passage almost. Like what do they say in video games? Achievement unlocked. Like witchy achievement
Level
unlocked.
up. Yeah,
Leveling
yeah.
up. Yeah.
You
So
leveled up.
I didn't think it would happen this year, but I feel like this year I'm trying to take my gardening, trying to step it up a notch. So
Hell yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
That's awesome. It looks like you have it near a trellis near your house, right?
Yeah, but then I watched this video and Avi was right next to me and it was like, don't put them next to your house. It could ruin your
Yeah.
foundation. So I gotta
Yeah.
find some kind of, I don't know. I want one of those like arches, little arch.
I've seen people who buy like the big planter things and plant them in there and have them next to the house, but their trunks will get freaking meaty, like
Yeah.
real big.
Okay.
I really want to also, but then
Mhm.
I just see what can happen, and
Yeah.
it's gotta stay where it's gotta stay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering where else you could put it. You don't have a fence? Is that fence on your side yours? It can crawl along the fence.
It's not a very high fence though. So
That's okay.
yeah.
It's okay. It'll go sideways. I know. It's so pretty though when it hangs.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. Maybe I'll get some kind of trellis or archway to put it on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yay, welcome to the club.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we'll see how it goes. It has little buds on it. Like you could tell it. They're ready to bloom. But I heard
Okay.
that you said yours hasn't bloomed until this year, or was that somebody else?
No, it bloomed the first year I had it.
Did it?
I think that when they come to the store, they're already possibly a year or so old.
Okay.
But mine, yeah, it bloomed.
Cool. I can't wait to see
It's been popping
it.
off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of grows wild here in some areas, like over in the town where I work. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of trees over there, and sometimes I drive through like there's like canopy of like hanging wisteria.
Ooh,
Ooh,
that's
I
so
just want to
pretty.
go
We're
cut
gonna talk about the different varieties and how fucking invasive it can be, because it's bad down here too.
a.
It's beautiful, so beautiful in the spring, but it messes with the ecosystem.
Oh no. All right.
Oh
And now here we
no.
are planting it in our gardens willingly. We're like, here,
Yeah.
how about
Well,
it?
I think, have purchased, it's called Amethyst Falls or something like that, and it's an American variety. The Japanese and Chinese varieties, I guess, are the invasive ones. So we'll get to that.
Chit chat. All right, here we go.
Shit chat.
Chit chat.
Well, before we start this shit chat, we have a patron
We
shout
should
out.
wait, hold on. Before we get to the patron shout out,
What?
we should name our next what's it called?
Distinct
Bullshit.
smell of
So
bullshit.
distinct smell of bullshit. So we should name it shit chat.
Chit chat.
Shit chat. I like that.
No.
We have, we do have a patron shout out.
It's our darling, our dear Moonlight Garden, Marissa, who sent us an amazing box of goodies the other day. We did a live on Instagram, and her shop is just wonderful. She's got soy candles, she's got melt, she's got roller balls, just amazing stuff. And she sent us stickers and a lollipop.
A lollipop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she sells those lollipops in her shop. Those were just for
Oh.
Christina.
She knows the way to my heart.
I didn't eat mine yet, but you said yours was good.
Are you kidding?
It's in the package still. In the mailer. Look,
Oh.
I just like things just sit around my office, just like in the pack. The only thing that I took out because like I'm absolutely obsessed with it is this amazing practical
Mhm.
magic roller ball with the amethyst crystal. Is that did she say that was amethyst or fluorite in the bottle?
It's
But
beautiful.
this is a lovely blend. I think she said of lavender and rosemary. So good.
And there's something else I can't put my finger on. Did she tell us what it was? Like sea salt or something?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I
But
don't know, Marissa, we're so sorry, but oh my gosh, thank you for joining us on Patreon. We're so happy to have you. You're so sweet. She was sending us like the nicest voice messages
I
on
know.
Instagram, and her voice is just so like genuine and kind, and it's really nice to have you with us.
I know. Thank you so much, Marissa. So exciting. Yeah. If we ever do have a little trip down south, hopefully we can meet up.
Oh yeah, because she's kind of close to me.
Yeah, yeah, she's close to you.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Hashtag not really.
Hashtag not really, but more so than me. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So this one's for you. This is the Wisteria episode. And by the time this comes out, it's not really Wisteria season anymore, but that's
June?
okay. That's okay.
When does it start dying back? I'm sure it's different.
I have no idea.
I'm sure it's different according to where you're located, but yeah, the wisteria right now here is in full bloom, and right now it's May 9th. It's early May. It's been in bloom here for about a month now, but
so
I think it
nice.
starts dying back maybe June, July. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing blooms on it through like
The summer.
August for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the practical magic world, it has a place in the books. It
Yes.
also has a place in the movie, but it's not like a main character like the roses
It's
or
never mentioned,
hashtag lilacs.
right?
No,
It's
never mentioned.
Never mentioned at
No.
all. And also in the book, it only has actually a few mentions. It's not even mentioned that much. So it's amazing to me that when we think of practical magic, we think of that beautiful wisteria, right? We think
Mhm.
about that garden, that wisteria, and how it's just going wild. But I thought it had more of a presence. But now looking at our notes, looking at how much it actually is mentioned, it really isn't mentioned that much. So it's
It's
crazy
not.
to me how it made such a mark in this world, you know?
And the other thing I'm thinking, because, all right, so we know like don't follow everything that the Owens do, but they have it planted against their house.
They
And I'm
do.
thinking it's like, it's beside, I'm thinking
Oh,
it's
hold on.
like,
Christina's getting out her
I got
three.
my diorama. I think it's in here. I think it goes up the side of the lighthouse because you can see like kind of like a big trunk of the tree. But
Okay.
I think it's really pretty how
Mhm.
that stark white house has that dark green growth. And you can see some of the wisteria on it, right? In some of the shots, some of the purple.
I skimmed through the movie last night just to see, and the only part I noticeably like saw it was the scene where Gary the toad burps up the ring on the rock. And Gary
Oh,
and Sally are standing there, and you can kind of see it kind of wisping in the background behind their heads.
Okay.
but you got to really
I
pay
want.
attention to it.
I wonder if it would be in the scene where Sally's running inside when she hears the phone ring.
It's so
Because you
dark
can
out
see
there.
it from the other side. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
dark
but
out
then
there.
we noticed in the Goofs and Trivia that they
The
put that
lighting screen.
huge box light right in the frame. Guys, come
Huh?
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice in that scene that yeah, I only noticed it in the toad burp scene. So
Yeah. I'll
yeah.
have to go back and watch. I think it's so pretty.
Hmm.
And I just want, I don't know, fuck that part. I'm getting ahead of myself and I really, really want to experiment with the petals.
Mm. Okay,
But
like as far as like cooking or spell work or like what?
with cooking,
Okay. But
because all the
hold on.
recipes that we have found sound really freaking tasty.
But you told me that this plant is poisonous, no?
Everything except for the petals themselves is poisonous. So like the seed pods, like the
The leaf.
vines, the leaves.
So
Yeah.
wait, poisonous? Are we talking like
We're
wolfsbane
going to
level
talk
poisonous?
toxicity in a
Okay.
minute.
Because wolfsbane, you just look at the thing and you're dead. But but like
I don't know.
but then some plants, you can touch them and you can cook with
Hmm.
certain parts of it, but certain parts are very toxic. So yeah, we'll talk
Yes.
about that in a bit. But
That's
it
fine.
always makes me nervous. Whenever I hear any part of a plant is toxic, I'm always like, I ain't fucking with anything of it. I don't even want to know. It's pretty to look
Gotcha.
at, beautiful, but I ain't putting that in my body, not putting it in my pets. It
Yeah.
stays outside. I'm good with that. But let me
Yeah, I
know
wouldn't
if
let
you
your
end
cats
up
chomp on the leaves or anything.
right.
My cat, fucking Odin, was eating. Do you remember when he was eating my pepper plant?
Did
Immediately was vomiting. Like
he
he
shit
would not even
fire for
peppers.
a
There was
week?
no peppers
Just
on
the
it. He would just
leaves?
eat the leaves,
Oh
and like
no.
within seconds, and he kept doing it. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know you throw up. Stop it.
Uh-huh.
So keep wisteria away from your cats. Don't eat it, and we'll tell you a safe way to do so later on in the show.
Yeah, Christina's got some
Okay,
recipes. So
got some
we'll see
recipes.
what kind of stuff we can make with this wisteria. I have never heard of cooking with wisteria, but I guess you could cook with anything if you want to.
It
You
took a
could
lot of trial and error, it
you
sounds
could
like.
fry zucchini flowers, but I mean those aren't poisonous.
Ooh,
So
yeah, that sounds really good. Do you do that?
we've done it once. They were pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, not my favorite thing. I don't think I would like grow these things just to fry up the
Just for the
flowers.
flowers.
But
Yeah.
I've heard about it and we were growing zucchini anyway, so I was like, yeah, I'll try it. They're all right. They weren't bad.
Zucchini takes up a lot of room.
Oh, you're telling me.
A
Holy
lot of
shit.
fucking room.
And you need to plant pollinators around it or that thing won't ever fruit.
I've
Yeah.
seen a way you can like manually pollinate, like take the little stamen and like rub it
Mm,
inside the female stamen. I
make
feel
your
like
plant have
God when I do
sex.
it. Yeah. Make your
Christina's
babies.
Christina's directing a zucchini porn. Gross.
Oh shit. All right. Do we want to talk anything more about it in the movie? Because it really does not come up. It's never mentioned. It's never acknowledged. It's barely in any scenes, but it is there.
It is there. It's just a faint little wisp in the background. But yeah,
Yeah,
you really don't even see it unless you're really looking for it because it's not a prominent figure like the roses, So even the
exactly.
lilacs were a little Easter egg. That wasn't even in the forefront.
Right.
So
Right,
like
right.
I feel like the roses were really the plant that had the forefront and center in that movie, and I feel like
Mhm.
that was an intentional choice. I feel like they made it that way.
Other witch houses and movies and stuff too seem to have things growing on them. And
Mhm.
is I wonder if that's well maybe like I don't think Charm did. Does the Charmed house have anything growing on it? It just seems like a natural thing to have because it's like a wild cunning woman lives here and
It
is
is a
like
very witchy
one
vibe.
with the earth. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think I've ever noticed it in Charmed.
I don't know if there's
That house to me seems a little more kempt than the Practical Magic
it's
house.
more suburban
It
to
is more
me.
suburban. It's when we did the Victorian architecture episode, what is like a queen something style or isn't it
I
like
think it's
a
Queen Anne. I think that one's in one of them's in Jersey. I think there were actually a couple in Jersey.
uh-huh,
I
yeah.
remember that
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like the Sabrina house.
The Addams
There
Family
was a couple,
house.
the Adams family and the Munster. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. The Charmed one, I think that one's out is that in LA or is that in San Francisco? I don't remember what we said, but I
Mm.
think the Grim Life Collective actually might have visited it. And then didn't you say that they repurposed like the shell or the outside for Witches of East End? Didn't they use the same
Yeah,
house?
like the reboot. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
I
That
don't
seems like
remember.
forever ago. We just
Yeah,
did
and
that one.
I don't remember any Wisteria on there though. I could be wrong. but we'll have to go and see again and see if it
Yeah.
has any. There's also Sabrina from Netflix, that show.
Mm-hmm.
That might have some wisteria because that house is kind of like on a bigger lot of property. It's not as suburban and it's a little more
Mm-hmm.
fantastical, like it's supposed to be more fantasy. The Witches of East End in the back. Do you remember that scene where they're having like, I don't know, either breakfast or like tea in the backyard and
Yeah.
like the yard is like gorgeous, like the
Yeah.
garden. I don't remember if there was any wisteria in that, but in my mind I'm picturing that there was.
Oh,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we'll have
But
to go
then we
back.
have Wisteria Lane,
Okay,
and
we're
we
gonna get
have.
into pop culture later.
Oh,
I
okay,
have a
okay, okay,
whole
okay.
section on the
You
wisteria.
do?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Okay. I'm
are
trying
you
to
a big
think.
Desperate Housewives fan?
No, I'm not, but like there was another show called like Sweet Magnolias where it's kind of very similar and like
Okay.
everything's covered in crawling wisteria plants and stuff like that. So
Oh,
it just makes everything like quaint. It's
yeah.
like, I love it. I love it. I love mine. I take care of mine and I really want more, but Aaron says no. So there we go.
The voice of reason. We all need the voice of reason, right? But like, see, Avi might as well be a Gemini because he has no voice of reason. He's like, all right, just get it. Just get one and then I'll get five more that I can bonsai.
He likes to one up. That's
He
so funny.
does. He does. He likes to one up me, little asshole. But anyway, all right. So, all
Okay.
right, not much wisteria in the movie. Okay, what about the books? Let's talk about the books.
All right. I guess I'll take Practical Magic. It comes in on page 13.
Comes in hot.
And it comes in hot on page 13. The aunts were not invited to potluck suppers or library fundraisers, but when a woman in town quarreled with her lover, when she found herself pregnant by someone who wasn't her husband, or discovered that the man she'd married was unfaithful as a hound, then there she'd be at the Owens' back door just after twilight. The hour when the shadows could hide your features, so no one would recognize you as you stood beneath the wisteria, a tangled vine that had grown above the door for longer than anyone in town had been alive. So then on page 20, by the time the wisteria had begun to bloom the following spring, the girl from the drugstore was back. Sally and Jillian were working in the garden at dusk, gathering spring onions for vegetable stew. The lemon thyme in the rear of the garden had started to give off its delicious scent, as it always did at this time of year, and the rosemary was less chalky and brittle. Why did it do that one? Where's the wisteria?
The very first line. By the time the
Oh,
wisteria had
Jesus
begun.
Christ. Okay, my attention span. Jesus Christ. Okay, page 31. Jillian hugged Sally one more time and then she disappeared out the window. They'd fed the aunts barley soup laced with a generous amount of whiskey, so the old women were asleep on the couch. They never heard a thing. But Sally could hear. My mic is picking up my stomach growling.
I thought I heard that.
They never heard a thing, but Sally could hear her sister running down the blue stone path, and she wept all night and imagined she heard footsteps when nothing was moving outside but the garden toads. In the morning, Sally went outside to collect the white sheets.
Oh my God, that's so loud.
I'll try to
Ladies and
pause when it
gentlemen,
happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on the show. Christina's stomach would like to say something.
Collect the white sheets Jillian had left in a heap beside the wisteria. Why was Sally the one who always stayed behind to do laundry? Why did she care that there were dirt stains in the fabric that needed extra bleaching? She had never felt more alone or lonely.
Wait, where's the wisteria in that one?
She was collecting the sheets that were piled up against the wisteria. Collected the white sheets Jillian had left in a heap beside the wisteria.
Like Alice just sneaks it in these like
Mm-hmm.
large paragraphs. It's like amazing that anybody ever pulled it out of there and is like, oh, wisteria, practical magic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make the association. But like it's just tucked into these little morsels of text. Like it's not really a main character, so I don't know. I just think it's amazing how it just made its own I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, fuck me. Go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I was thinking the same thing, but with Jillian's snake tattoo, which we'll have coming up in a little while. But like, it's mentioned, and that's it. But the fact that they put that in the movie, it's like it's amazing.
Yeah, little details.
All right, page 55. Sometimes, talking about Sally, sometimes her throat closed up when she noticed how the aunts were aging, when she sees all those weeds in the garden and the way the wisteria is drooping, since no one ever thinks to give it water or a bit of mulch. Still, she never feels as though she's made a mistake after she drives down Magnolia Street. She doesn't allow herself a single regret, not even when her daughters cry and complain. She knows where she's going and what she has to do. And she's gone. She's out.
She's out of there.
Oh, stop. There's a
Christina's fighting
huge
with her
gas
stomach.
bubble in my...
By the way, this all needs to stay in. This is hilarious. It all needs
It's
to stay
crazy how much this mic is picking up everything now.
Okay,
So
all
we're
right. Well,
sorry, guys. We're just testing
sidebar.
things out.
We need to explain to our audience what's going on. So Christina decided to go down the rabbit hole, do some research on how we can make our mics sound crisper and clearer and pick up more of our laughing because as most of you might, well, I don't know, we do a good job of editing some of the like empty laughter. Our mics are not picking up our complete laughter sometimes, and Christina wanted to fix that. But now her mic is picking every single thing up, including her growling stomach, and it's just so freaking funny. You need to keep all of this in.
Okay. Let me get through this last one on page 144. If Maria Owens chose to speak to you, she looked you straight in the eye, even if you were her elder or better. She was known to do as she pleased without stopping to deliberate what the consequences might be. Men who shouldn't have fell in love with her and were convinced that she came to them in the middle of the night, igniting their carnal appetites. Women found themselves drawn to her and wanted to confess their own secrets in the shadows of her porch where the wisteria had begun to grow and was already winding.
Question.
Yeah.
Wisteria, Maria Owens, right? So she's the one who established this garden on this property on Magnolia Street.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, since we talk about a little bit later on about the origins of the wisteria and how, popular in Buddhist culture, Japan, China, out in the East, do you think Samuel Diaz, among his travels, actually brought the wisteria back to the United States and planted
you are
it?
correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which also, so is he just like the tree of heaven or whatever that one was? He is at fault for bringing this invasive stuff. Guys, when you travel, don't take anything, don't bring anything, because you're fucking up the ecosystem. Okay. Take us to rules of magic.
All right, so rules of magic. Page 55. She pushed through the screen door and went past the porch where the wisteria was so twisted, children in town swore the vine had been fashioned out of an old man's arms and legs. Yeah, because it can get very twisty, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I have to untangle mine because it's like, I don't know. I don't want it to strangle itself,
Yeah. Can it do that? Can it strangle itself?
I don't think so. I don't know. Well, some trees do. If you've ever seen like the base of the trees where the roots are kind of out of the ground, if there's it has a specific name, but if there's another root that is growing over that, like an X, that can really mess up the tree. So like people really recommend to cut those cross bracings out.
If it grows over itself like an X, does that mean it's been maloikyoed? A cursed tree.
A curse upon your houses.
A curse upon your tree.
Yeah.
A curse upon your wisteria. Yeah. Page 69. In Massachusetts, everything had a faint green aroma, a combination of cucumber, wisteria, dogwood, and peppermint. But the scent of the city changed every day. Dude, that sounds like an amazing scent combination. Can I just say?
Yeah.
Cucumber, wisteria. Okay, wait. First of all, wisteria.
I don't know what cucumber or what cucumber. I don't know what wisteria smells like.
Yeah, what is
like to
wisteria
me? I can't
like?
put. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Because on the tag on the plant I just bought, it said fragrant blooms. And I'm like, I've never smelled a wisteria. I see it around a lot. I don't know what it smells like. Maybe you know what it smells like because you have one, but it doesn't smell like anything.
I don't remember like walking through the trellis and being like, oh, that smells nice. But maybe when we take our break, I'll go out and get a cutting and then try to give you a palette of flavors.
Yeah, but
mental picture of flavors.
Don't leave it laying around so your animals can get it.
Correct.
Just a reminder.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I would love to know what it smells like because I have no clue. So page 152. When Franny looked through the window, she could see a pie-shaped yard filled with weeds. Shifting her gaze, she spied a twisted wisteria and a few spindly lilacs. It was then she felt her heart lift. By the way, I was just watching like some random YouTube video, like this guy was taking a walk through his rose garden, and he said lilacs too, and he was not English.
What the fuck?
So
what
I'm
the hell, guys?
Am I late to the game? And is there something I don't
pedantic?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So moving right along to page 227. You could have come here if you wanted daffodils, she, talking about Isabel, said when Jet walked in. True enough, the yard was thick with them at this time of year, a sea of yellow. Jet saw that the garden was far ahead of the rest of town. The wisteria was already blooming, the climbing roses were budding. Looks as though you saw a ghost, Isabel said. I saw Levi's father. Creepy. He's a creep, right? Levi's
But he's
father.
still alive, so it's not that creepy.
Right. Yeah, he's not a
He's
ghost at this
visiting his
point.
son's grave.
But he might as well be a ghost because he is a kind of creep. Page 261. The sisters sat in the shade of the arbor beside the shed. Wisteria grew here in spring and spread out like a canopy. Grapes twisted along the structure in late summer. The town was sleepy, but without Aunt Isabel's presence, it was empty as far as Franny and Jet were concerned. Is that after she
Oh,
passed, Isabel?
yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah. Page 311. They looked at each other, then the Reverend got out of his car and followed Franny into the house. He noticed that the wisteria was blooming, always the first in town to do so. This was the house that had been built with money his ancestor had given to the woman he had loved, then had called a witch. He wondered how often that had happened, both then and now. He carried the burden of his family with him and was weighed down by the wrong they'd done in the world. So that's talking about Hathorn, right? Because he's related to John Hathorn, the Reverend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So the Reverend's family is descendants from Hathorn, and then the Owens are obviously the descendants of Maria. And
But
then
is it Maria and John or Maria and Samuel?
what do you mean? The Reverend?
No. You were saying the Owens are descendants from Maria, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's got two baby daddies,
Right.
is what
Yeah,
all I was saying.
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know that the Californian Owens are the Portuguese line,
Diaz
right?
Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would love to do a whole episode and like deep dive this lineage because
I feel like it's not done yet, though. I don't want to do anything.
yeah.
And then Alice comes out with a fourth fucking book. Or a fifth. Is it fifth?
Fifth.
Yeah, would be a fifth.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean fan fiction's fan fiction. Nobody has to listen to us. But
That's
it
true.
would be
That's
it would
true.
be fascinating to do just to entertain ourselves. Like, the whole Titanic spiel. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's so fun.
It is fun. All right, page 362. They, talking about young Sally and Jillian, walked up the path to the Owens house. Sparrows were nesting in the twisted wisteria. When Sally held out her hand, one flitted over to sit in the center of her palm. Hello, she said, comforted by the warmth of the bird and its bright eyes. How unusual, Jet said, tossing a knowing look at Franny, another Owens to whom birds flocked of their own accord. And then this is the last mention in Rules of Magic, page 363. The wisteria twisted around the pillars of the porch like a goblin's fingers. The house itself was tall and tilty, with green glass in the windows and a fence that circled the property like a snake. Jillian was not a fan of snakes. Oh, how ironic. She only got a tattoo of one. Jillian was
We
not
talked
a
about
fan.
this immersion therapy.
Yeah, Jillian was not a fan of snakes or vines or trees that looked like monsters. AKA, I guess, the wisteria, right?
That's it.
I guess she thought the
And
wisteria looked like the monster because it's all twisty and goblin-y.
when those older, like mature, viney parts, they do like this weird splitting of like their green, the young bark like splits away and then it turns into like the old brown and it's like, ew, yuck. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Is that all the stuff
Very
you cut
tactile.
away? Like, what do you cut away when you trim it back?
When I cut it, I've heard you can cut up to like 75% of its growth if you really wanted to make it like big and bushy. I only do like the spindly shit at the top. So I know it has like most of its weight at the bottom and then it starts getting kind of like your hair.
Okay.
Like all the like little
Ends.
spindly shit at the top I cut off.
Split ends. Yeah.
Split ends. Get those split ends.
All right.
All right. So page 385 in Magic Lessons, there's only one mention. And it says the house was tall with a twisted vine of wisteria that ran along the porch. In bloom at the first surge of spring. In the kitchen, there sat a huge black cast iron stove. In the pantry were dozens of shelves on which to store herbs.
And is
that's it.
this talking about the house on Magnolia Street, or is this talking about because I know
I think
we saw John Hathorn's house, and also Maria stayed in that little cabin too, right? So which
Right.
location was this? Do you remember?
it looks like it's at the end of the book. So is this the house that Maria builds?
That
house was tall
Samuel
and-
Diaz furnished with plants from all over the world.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's just interesting that they never mentioned that the wisteria was from Samuel Diaz.
It might not be.
I think it is.
We're speculating. Okay.
Like, he brought everything there. Like everything, that whole property kind of just was what it was because he just brought her all these amazing trees from all over the world because he loved her so much and she was such a bitch.
Sorry. I was
What?
having
Wait,
song
wait.
lyrics go
Where did you
through.
where did you go just now? I'm like, Christina,
I was
not
singing.
there. Knock knock. Where'd you go?
I was singing that Celine Dion song in my head because you loved me. I'm what I because you love me. Yeah. And that's what I
Oh,
was thinking. And
that's so
then all I
funny.
hear you say is, she was such a bitch.
You just like
I,
you just left your body for a second. I don't know where you
I'm
went.
sorry, I checked out.
Welcome back to
Ooh,
Earth,
good
Christina.
one. She was kind of a bitch.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
it wasn't. So listen, I know underneath she probably did love him and was really trying to save him from the curse, but it took her finding like the diamonds,
Uh-huh. She's a
which,
gold.
yes, I kind of was. Yeah, that's what I was
She's a
thinking.
gold digger.
But she did see it in her vision, so I don't know. I don't know about the Maria.
Yeah. Debatable.
Debatable. All right, Book of
Diamonds
Magic.
are going back to Nicole Kidman. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Best friend.
Did she sing that in Moulin Rouge?
Love her.
Did you ever see that movie, Moulin Rouge?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I really want
Satine,
to, when you and I meet,
the
to
sparkling
do
diamond.
a to do a rendition of like, because I can hit those low notes of Ewan McGregor. I'll do Ewan and you do her, and then we can just
Oh,
perform
come
for each other and Avi.
on. For each other.
uh,
You guys
what's
can
that song
you
that
guys
they
can watch our
sing on
show.
the elephant?
Oh,
Oh my God.
your song, the love elephant love song
We
medley.
should live stream it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
That might be blackmail content. No.
We could be heroes forever and ever. Okay, let's read this goddamn book.
All right, Book of Magic. Oh wait, are we still on? No, we just read Magic last. Okay. Book of Magic last book. There's only two mentions. Two.
Dos.
Dos. All right.
Dos.
So page 63. There were the windows made of wavering glass that overlooked the garden where the daffodils bloomed in bunches of yellow and white. He could see the potting shed and the greenhouse. When we were young, we were taught to beware of the plants that grew here, Jet had whispered. But of course, that made us all the more interested. Along the porch, twisted branches of wisteria wound up toward the roof, thick with purple buds. And then the very last mention of wisteria on page 148. The place was a vision of neglect, as if Franny and Jet's presence had held the house together. All the same, Antonia appreciated the jolly sentiments. She waved and called out a hello, then found the hidden house key behind the twisted wisteria. That's it. That's
That's
everything.
it. That's it all.
Yeah. Dude, we are in a
We're
rare
in a mood.
today. In a mood. Yeah.
I don't even think we need to take a break just yet. Do we want to dive into history? Do we want to do a card pull? What do you want to do first?
Oh shit. All right, yeah, let's there is a wisteria card, so we'll just read that.
All right.
Let's see.
Forever and ever.
We could be heroes. Here we go.
Just for one day.
All right, so Wisteria, the keyword on this card is meditation and also peace of mind. So this says, release yourself from the world, take comfort within yourself, silence the voices of others, and listen to the music of the world. Take some time to disconnect and tap into the divine energy within. Meditate, go within, and find your answers here. Maintain a powerful connection and remember to keep yourself grounded, like the roots of a tree or a vine, you know?
Yeah.
Have a deep conversation with your deeper self and the universal energies available to you in this state. Step back and gain peace of mind before moving forward into your next endeavor. Utilize the power of a purple candle, this card, and its affirmation while meditating to enhance your connections. And the mantra on this card is, I find peace and guidance within the silence of my deeper self. Oh, that's so deep.
Ooh, that was
That is
nice.
so deep. I love the little bit of spell work he kind of or divination he kind of includes with that, with the purple candle.
Mm-hmm.
You can also amethyst is a great pairing, the purple crystal.
Yeah,
Or any
beautiful.
kind of like blue or purpley crystals. I think it's interesting how he made the keyword of this one meditation, because later on we talk a little bit about how wisteria is very prominent in like the Buddhist culture. So
Yes,
very
very
cool connection
important.
there. Cool connection.
And
So
that purple color too connected with the third eye, the
right.
chakra, the higher echelons of
Yeah,
thinking.
love that. It is a very heavenly tree, very otherworldly, ethereal, right? It's a very ethereal.
It looks so like fairy-like. Like watching the bees, I was sending you the marker yesterday, the bees
Mhm.
just kind of like shuffle their little bodies in there and
So
disappear. And then there they
cute.
come back out. They're
They go
so
to the
cute.
fairy realm. They
Mm-hmm.
go into the fairy realm. Do a little bit
Yeah.
later on when we talk about wisteria and its uses in magic, there's something that I want to show you. Like an oil, okay?
Okay.
This looks
Okay.
heavenly. All right, we're
Oh
gonna talk about
God.
that later. But anyway, thank you to Joseph of Grounded by the Moon. Your deck is amazing, and we do have a little bit of a coupon code to share with you guys if you want to save 10% on your entire order at checkout, and that is Magnolia Magic. So head to groundedbythemoon.com and go get some stuff. Go get some magical
Get some
stuff.
of the goodies. Oh, the
Yeah.
goodies. Yeah. So when I was taking these notes, an old blast from the past came up with one of the words that I have a very hard time with, but I practiced.
Oh,
I think it's in this one. I think it's Wisteria sinensis.
sinensis.
And
That's like
sinensis is in this.
what did we just talked about sinensis in the tea episode, right? Was it Camellia sinensis?
Camellia sinensis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't know there were other sinenses.
Sinentii.
Sinentii, sinentia. All right, take a deep
All right.
breath. We're strap in here because this is there's not that much here. The history, brief history,
A little brief history.
oh,
So,
brief history.
Wisteria is a genus of flowering plants in the legume family. Fabaceae, Leguminosae. The genus includes 4 species of woody, twisty vines that are native to China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, southern Canada, the eastern United States, and north Iran. They were later introduced to France, Germany, and various other countries in Europe. Some species are popular ornamental plants. The genus name is also used as the English name and may be spelled Wistaria
Like Wistaria.
instead of Eria.
Huh.
Wistaria.
Wistaria.
Lilac. In some countries in Western and Central Europe, Wisteria is also known by a variant spelling of the genus in which species were formerly placed glycine. Examples include the French glycines, the German glycini, and the Polish glycinia. There are more than 20 species of flower that are recognized, including Wisteria sinensis, Wisteria floribunda, Wisteria frutescens, just to name a few. Wisteria is native to Japan, China, Korea, and in the language of flowers, it says youth, poetry, and lesbi friends. Kind
Oh,
of like a little friend zone. Is a friend zone plant?
yeah, yeah.
In Japan, it is both the flower of April and the emblem of summer. It has the reputed ability to overcome obstacles and bring prosperity and promote psychic receptiveness.
Ooh.
In 1816, an English visitor to China admired a wisteria covered pergola in the rich man's garden. He was gifted with some seeds. The plant arrived in America in the 1830s.
I was
The
gonna
genus
say,
was
too bad he wasn't a Portuguese visitor, or was he
I
Brazilian or was he
think we
Portuguese?
get it. He's Samuel, right? He's Portuguese. I thought we had more on this person a little bit later, who
Okay,
this person was.
okay,
I could be wrong. I could be
okay.
wrong. The genus Wisteria was established by Thomas Nuttall in 1818. He based the genus on Wisteria
Frutescens.
frutescens. God, that's the new sinensis. Frutescens, previously included in the genus glycine. Nuttall stated that he named the genus in memory of the American physician and anatomist Caspar Wistar.
Oh,
Okay. Both men were living in Philadelphia at the time, where Wistar was a professor in the School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. Questioned about the spelling later, Nuttall said that it was for euphony. Euphony? What's euphony?
hold on. Let's see. Let's go down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
So euphony. Oh, say okay. So there's the word cacophony and euphony. So euphony is the effect of sounds being perceived as pleasant, rhythmical, lyrical, or harmonious.
Oh. So he
Cacophony
just
is
liked the name.
yeah, yeah. So cacophony is the effect of sounds being perceived as harsh, unpleasant, chaotic, and often discordant. So they're opposing sound or opposing
I
types of sound.
see.
So
Like
he
euphoric
yes,
euphony.
yes,
Got
something
it.
pleasant to the ear, right?
So he just liked his name. That's kind of sweet. Little man crush on his name. But the biographer speculated that it may have to do with something with Nuttall's family friend, Charles Jones Wister Sr. of Grumblethorpe. The grandson of the merchant John Wister. Various sources assert that the naming occurred in Philadelphia. It has been suggested that the Portuguese botanist and geologist Jose Francisco Correa de Serra, who lived in Philadelphia beginning of 1812, 4 years before the appointment was as an ambassador of Portugal to United States, was a friend of Wister, proposed the name Wisteria in his obituary of Wister. It's all connected.
Portuguese. There it is. There it is.
Oh my God.
I wanted to deep dive a little bit about this Caspar Wistar, the physician.
Yes,
so,
please do.
This dude, all right, he was born September 13th, 1761, died January 22nd, 1818. He was an American physician and anatomist. He is sometimes referred to as Caspar Wistar the Younger to distinguish him from his grandfather of the same name. So he's born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the son of Richard Wistar and Sarah Wyatt. He's the grandson of Caspar Wistar, a German immigrant, Quaker, and glassmaker.
Cool.
So I'm just gonna fast forward to his career. Let's see. So upon his return to the U.S. in January 1787, he entered on the practice of his profession in Philadelphia, where he at once was appointed one of the physicians to the Philadelphia dispensary. He was the professor of chemistry and institutes of medicine in the College of Philadelphia.
Dispensary, like a medicine dispensary? All I think is pot.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just trying to see if there's anything relating to wisteria in this. I don't think so. But yeah, he just inspired the botanist Thomas Nuttall. That's pretty much it.
Okay. No, that's fine. I'm trying to differentiate, like wrap my brain around. So Nuttall, let's see. Nuttall named it, but he was inspired by Caspar Wistar's name.
Yeah.
But it was suggested that he do so from the Portuguese botanist Jose.
Uh-huh.
Is that right?
Wait,
Okay.
What's his name? Yeah, Jose Francisco Correa de Serra.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Yeah. And then there's also, it says see also at the bottom of this list. There's also Sierra Madre Wisteria. That's a wisteria vine. Hold on. Okay.
I think Wisteria would be kind of a dope, like, gothic girl name.
Oh, totally. There's a wisteria.
Melancholia.
So this Sierra Madre Wisteria, this is a flowering vine shown at the annual Wisteria Festival in Sierra Madre, California. The Wisteria vine in 1990 was declared by the Guinness Book of World Records to be the largest blossoming plant in the world. The Wisteria vine is named after physician Caspar Wistar by botanist Thomas Nuttall. The general name for the plant is spelled wisteria. The single wisteria vine covers over an acre. The wisteria vine has over 1.5 million blossoms and weighs over 250 tons. The plant is on private land and open to the public once a year during the Wisteria Festival. And you could see that at the annual Wisteria Festival in Sierra Madre, California. Yeah.
That is so neat.
Right?
Very cool.
Very cool. I'm reading a little more on the history of the vine. All right, so it says the vine was planted in 1894 by Mrs. William Alice Brugman. Brugman purchased the vine from the old Wilson Nursery in Monrovia. Isn't that like a plant brand like that you see in like Home Depot or whatever? Like the pots say Monrovia. Am I thinking of...
I thought it was Moldovia, or is that a country?
I don't remember. I think it was Mont something. I'm wondering if it's the connection, if it's the same connection here. But anyway, the Brugman purchased the vine from the old Wilson Nursery in Monrovia for 75 cents in a 1-gallon bucket. The vine's trunk is now over a meter in diameter. The lavender flowers have a sweet fragrance. Mrs. Brugman sold the home.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Once you go get that cutting, I want to see what that smells like. Mrs. Brugman sold the home to Henry and Estelle Fennell with the vine in 1906. The Fennell promoted the vine's growth. Fennells built arbors and trellises to keep the vine off the ground. The vine is on the alluvial plain of the San Gabriel Mountains with good water source and drainage. Fennel let the vine grow onto the house. From 1904 to 1950, the Pacific Electric Sierra Madre Line streetcars brought visitors from around the greater Los Angeles area to the Wisteria Festival. The weight of the vine later destroyed the house, collapsing the roof. Oh my
God.
Yeah, and there you go. That's why you don't plant wisteria in your house. A new
Wow.
house was built north of the Vine. In 1936, Fennel sold the house and vine to Carrie Ida Lawless. Lawless built new arbors and trellises to keep the vine off the ground and the house. Lawless died in 1942, and her nephew Bruce McGill inherited the house and the vine. McGill worked with the Sierra Madre Garden Club in care of the vine. The original lot was subdivided in 1961, so the vine is now on two adjoining properties. There are Chinese wisteria vines in China that are over 250 years old. Due to the vine's status, the vine is now maintained by experts from universities and local horticulturists. The Sierra Madre wisteria is one of 7 horticultural wonders of the world. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, so by the way, that festival is normally held in March if you want to go check out that festival.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
that's a little bit. And that's so funny. Like we just went down the rabbit hole. That snowballed off of that physicians or the anatomists page.
Yeah, it's
Cool,
all
cool,
good.
cool. All right. So we're gonna talk about some science.
Get into the science.
You wanna take it away?
I'm gonna let you do it because I see a lot of Latin.
Oh no, I see all the Latin. Fuck me. All right. All right, here.
We
All
flip a
right.
coin.
Here we go, everybody.
Ready.
Very, very fun. All right. So, so the description of the wisteria, the seeds and seed pods of Wisteria floribunda, which is also known as Japanese wisteria, they contain high levels of the wisteria toxin and are especially poisonous. Yikes. So, wisterias climb by twining their stems around any available support. Japanese wisteria twines clockwise when viewed from above, while Chinese wisteria twines counterclockwise.
Interesting.
This is an aid in identifying the two most common species of wisteria. So, have you looked at yours? Do you realize what direction?
If I'm looking at it from above, it's going clockwise.
All right, so it looks like you have
No, I have an American one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I hope I do. God damn.
Well, I mean, they all originate from Japan or China, right?
Right.
So you have some descendant from some line. So this is an aid in identifying the two most common species of wisteria. They can climb as high as 20 meters or 66 feet above the ground and spread out 10 meters or 33 feet laterally. The world's largest known wisteria is in the Sierra Madre Wisteria in Sierra Madre, California, which we just talked about a little bit, measuring more than 1 acre in size and weighing 250 tons. Planted in 1894, it is one of the Chinese lavender variety. The leaves are alternate, 15 to 35 centimeters long. What's that word? Pinnate?
Pinnate?
Pinnate? With 9 to 19 leaflets. So the flowers have drooping racemes that vary in length from species to species. American wisteria, this is the one that you have, right? Has the shortest racemes, 5 to 7 centimeters. W or Wisteria floribunda, the Japanese wisteria, has the longest racemes, 90 centimeters or 35 inches in some varieties, and 120 centimeters or 47 inches, or 200 centimeters, 79 inches in some cultivars. The flowers come in a variety of colors, including white, lilac, purple, and pink, and which we'll get into what some of those colors mean in later on, right? And some silky wisteria and W. floribunda cultivars have particularly remarkable colors. The flowers are fragrant, and especially cultivars of W. brachybotrytis, W. floribunda, and W. sinensis are noted for their sweet and musky scents. Flowering is in spring, just before or as the leaves open in some Asian species, and in mid to late summer in the American species. So let's talk about the invasiveness. This is very invasive. The wisteria is common throughout the southeast and is actually an invasive species or plant from China. Chinese wisteria grows so rapidly that it covers plants, shading out others, and even killing trees. All right, so Chinese wisteria, also known as Wisteria sinensis, is able to damage local ecosystems because of its rampant growth and ability to thrive in a number of different conditions. While Chinese wisteria won't produce its trademark flowers without sun and prefers rich loam. What is loam? This
It's
resilient,
like that nice, like fluffy, damp soil.
Okay. This resilient vine will still grow in shade and tolerates any soil. So it's pretty hardy, right? It seems.
Mm-hmm.
Wisteria can climb
Just
up tall trees.
growing on the sides of highways,
Right.
where all that like oil and gas runoff is going.
Yeah. How does
know?
anything survive in those conditions? Like,
Yeah.
this shit will
I will survive under any conditions.
Yeah, this shit seems like it will survive the apocalypse. Wisteria can climb up tall trees and will continue to grow in the tree canopy where it can shade out smaller trees and plants below. Additionally, individual wisteria plants can live for more than 50 years. Wisteria's longevity only increases its ability to invade an area and choke out native plants. All right, so
Hmm.
yeah, plant this away from your other plants and your
Yeah. When I
house.
was looking into getting mine, I was watching videos just of like, I think I was trying to talk myself out of planting it against the house, but there was a video, if I can find it, a man and his kids go hiking, like searching for this like wisteria
I
grove.
saw that
And
video.
you saw that one? It's so pretty. Yeah, if
Yeah,
we can find it. So
I'll
they're
link it.
just like going through the wisteria grove and it's just everywhere. It's
Do you
stunning.
remember where that was filmed?
I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
remember watching that video and then he was also talking about like the toxicity and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, he was with his kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cute
Yep.
video. So magical. It's crazy how it just like grows like wild like that. It's amazing.
Just like belladonna and
Mhm.
foxglove, like, ooh, they're pretty. Ooh, they're
Mhm.
pretty, but they'll kill you, just like
Yeah.
Jillian.
Right. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh.
So what
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
do if you're trying to get rid of wisteria? Say you just moved into a new place and like there's a stunning plant, but you know all the other vegetation around is going to be fucked if you let that stuff go.
Mhm.
If you want to remove invasive wisteria species from your landscape, be sure to do so carefully. The best way to eliminate wisteria from your landscape is to cut the vines off as close to the root as possible and paint the cut stem with Roundup or like another kind of Roundup. Brush Be Gone is another one they suggest.
Mhm.
This process can be repeated if the wisteria resprouts. Remember, wisteria can grow from seeds or rooted stallions. Stallones?
Stallings?
Stallings. We got Sylvester Stallone and
Sylvester Stalin.
Stalin. Sylvester Stalin. Be sure to be sure to properly dispose of your cut vines to prevent any infestation. Proper disposal of wisteria involves putting it out on your curb to be picked up where that's available. So
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't put that in your compost just in
Mhm.
case, like, because
Seeds.
it is toxic, right? Yeah, and it has seeds.
Yeah.
If you don't want to use an herbicide, you can simply cut the vines off as close to the root as possible, but be aware that wisteria can continue to sprout after being cut, so you will have to cut it back every few weeks until fall. You can also remove the entire plant by digging it up by the roots. Any root pieces left on the ground may resprout those, so be on the lookout for the wisteria that could grow back from those. Again, be sure to just properly dispose of any unwanted wisteria.
There are non-invasive wisterias?
Tell me about them.
I will tell you. All right. I had no idea that there was such thing as non-invasive
Well, that's the
wisteria.
one we have. We have a non-invasive one.
Wait, it is ours is non-invasive?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. Interesting. All right. So, for those who wish to incorporate flowering vines into your yard, do your landscape and the environment a favor and find a nursery that can recommend a non invasive plant. Another good reference is the EDIS publication, Flowering Vines for Florida, which provides photos, information on growing regions, and flowering times on a number of flowering vines ideal for Florida landscapes. All right. So, this is
Okay.
I guess if this is specific to Florida, but I guess a lot of nurseries all around the country carry this line of wisteria, and this is the one Christina has. This is the one I just bought, the Amethyst Falls American Wisteria. So wisteria. Oh, hold on. This is a frutens. Okay, Wisteria frutescens Amethyst Falls in the Gulf Coast Research and Education Center teaching gardens. And yes, so this is the one that we have, right? So, American wisteria and evergreen wisteria, also known as Miletia reticulata. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh,
Are
I like that.
two lovely non-invasive options for your home landscape. The Native American Wisteria cultivar Amethyst Falls has a deep blue purple flower and blooms in the spring and summer. The blooms may not be quite as fragrant, but won't need the constant pruning and caution associated with Chinese or Japanese wisterias. I did not.
That's why it's a subtle, if any smell at all. It
Okay.
has less fragrance.
All right, that
Got
makes
it.
sense. All right, so an added bonus. American wisteria is a larval host plant to both the silver-spotted skipper and the long-tailed skipper butterflies. American wisteria is only hardy in USDA zones 5 to 9, so it will not perform well in all parts of Florida. What zone is Florida? Do
This
you
is,
know?
I don't know. 10.
Is
I
it 10?
think. I think I'm 7.
I'm
7,
6.
8.
Yeah, I think I'm 6A or B. But New Jersey is the Garden State, so pretty much anything can grow here.
Right.
So luckily, gardeners throughout the state, and again, this is talking about Florida, throughout the state can replace invasive wisteria with the fragrant flowering vine evergreen wisteria, sometimes called summer wisteria. Evergreen wisteria is a non-native, non-invasive vine with glossy, leathery green leaves and small, fragrant flowers that bloom during the summer. Evergreen wisteria, which is not truly a wisteria, is hardy in USDA plant hardiness zones 8 to 10 and will grow best in areas with full sun, but will tolerate partial shade. Both
I
of
want
these
an
vines,
evergreen wisteria.
I've
That
never
sounds
even seen.
awesome.
Look that
Have
up.
like a nice like privacy fence in the
Uh-huh.
winter.
Yeah.
Oh, so nice. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up right now.
All right. Both of these vines are more delicate and grow less aggressively than invasive wisteria, making them ideal for cultivation in your home landscapes. Okay, I don't feel as bad now growing the one that I bought because, like, reading all the stuff before this section, I was like, holy shit, is this going to take over my entire yard? Is this going to kill all my other plants? Is it going to collapse my
No,
house?
no,
Like,
no, no.
I just went down the rabbit hole of all these like bad thoughts, but like now that I know that we have the non-invasive American wisteria, it's all good. I feel a little better about planting this now. So what does the evergreen wisteria look like? Let's see.
It looks a lot different. It looks much different. Like the clusters of flowers look
Oh
they're
yeah.
not as like grape shaped,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grape clusters. It's very
yeah.
pretty. I wonder if my husband would let me get some of this.
He's like, enough, Christina. Enough wisteria.
Enough.
Where did I leave off?
Ooh, shop the evergreen wisteria shrubhub.com.
Ooh, we're gonna link that below.
It's $27 for how much? Let's
Yeah,
see.
that's about. Wait, are they seeds or is it the actual plant?
And that's what I'm looking. I was like, hmm.
Because I paid about 26 or 27 bucks for a like, a year old plant. So we just pop that baby
Yeah,
in
that's what I did too.
a
It doesn't
ground
say
pot.
what it grows. Shrub hub. It doesn't look like it's seeds. It looks like it's a plant, but does it come in like a 3 gallon, a 5 gallon? Like, what are we talking
Right.
about here?
Yeah. Be more specific.
Did I let you
Anyway.
finish your portion?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, I finished it. So we're gonna talk
Okay.
we're gonna talk a little bit about the toxicity of the city.
City
Of
of the
the
wisteria disorder.
disorder. I love that song.
All right. I do
Oh,
too.
by the way, we're due for another WMSR episode.
Oh shit.
It's been 10 episodes. All
I'll
right.
talk about it this week.
We'll do the Stevie one.
Yeah,
Stevie.
we'll do the Stevie one.
Yeah, quick reminder, everybody, we do have a little spin-off series, not on our typical release
A
dates
regularly
every.
scheduled program.
Yeah, it's aside from that. So if you're a Spotify listener, you have access to these bonus episodes. Every 10 episodes, we release another musically inspired episode. All the music we talk about on the podcast, not even stuff that really has to do with practical magic, but we like
It's
diving
fun.
down the rabbit hole on all our favorite songs that we break out into on these shows. Our next one, we just did a whole Stevie Nicks episode. So I think the next one we're gonna do all Stevie music, right?
That was a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. So look out for that.
Big. All right. So
right.
we mentioned earlier this is a toxic plant. So the seeds are produced in pods similar to those of the laburnum. And like the seeds of that genus, they're poisonous. However, it seems like the flowers themselves are edible, and we're going to talk about that more a little later. There's a debate over whether the concentration outside of the seeds is sufficient enough, I guess, to cause poisoning. Wisteria seeds have caused poisoning in children and pets of many countries, producing mild to severe gastroenteritis and other effects. All parts of the wisteria plant are considered toxic, especially the pods and seeds. They're
But not
toxic to dogs.
but not the buds, not the blooms.
Not the flowers, yes. But they're toxic to dogs, cats, and even horses.
Oh.
And that's a big ass animal. So you are definitely smaller than a horse.
You're fucked.
No, you're fucked.
Did you hear my burp at the same time that I said that? Like you're fucked.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. The grandpa is always drunk and like he just talks through his burps. And I think it's hilarious.
Like I just did. Okay.
Yeah. Although serious poisonings are not common, exposure to as few as 2 seeds has been known to result in serious side effects. Symptoms including oral burning, stomach pain, diarrhea, and vomiting. So gastrointestinal symptoms may appear in 1.5 to 3.5 hours, confusion, syncope, vertigo, and weakness have all been described. Increased white blood cells have also been documented.
Holy shit.
So
This could fuck
symptoms
you up.
usually, what's syncope? Can you
I
look
don't
that up?
know. Yeah. Well, first of all, we are pronouncing it right. I'm proud of us.
Hey,
Syncope is a medical term for fainting or passing out. That's it.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Symptoms usually resolve within 24 to 48 hours, but one case reported persistent weakness and vertigo lasting 5 to 7 days.
Ooh.
Fuck that.
Mm-mm.
The mitogenic and blood clotting effects of lectins are not seen in toxic exposure. Exposure to smoke from the burning of this plant is also known to cause headaches.
So don't
That's
burn
really good
this
to
shit.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't burn
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
If you're
yeah.
trying to get rid of it, don't burn it.
Ooh, that's really good to know. This little tidbit comes from pubmd.gov, and it says a 50-year-old female ingested 10 seeds. Why? What the fuck? Ingested
Yeah.
10 seeds from the pod of the wisteria plant due to the curiosity and the perception that they were edible beans. Subsequent toxic effects included headache, gastroenteritis, hematemesis and dizziness, confusion, diaphoresis, and a like a fainting spell. Can't just say fainting. She continued to feel tired and complained of being dizzy 5 to 7 days after the ingestion.
You think?
Despite the the
What the
10 2 can like fuck you up.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm surprised she's alive.
Yeah.
Is she alive? I didn't look any further into this. I don't know.
And who
This
is
was
this?
I don't know.
I need names. Who is this person?
I don't know if that was given. I think that publication site, that site is like where medical people can document their shit, but I don't think it gave me any details. But you're if you want to look around while I finish, go for it.
All right.
Despite the abundant reference in the literature supporting the toxicity of the plant and the cases cited by Lamp and McCain, a literature research identified only one additional case report involving 2 youths in Italy who ingested at least 5 to 6 seeds each. The 3 events were sufficiently similar to the onset of the gastrointestinal symptoms and the effects on the central nervous system as to characterize a wisteria syndrome.
All right. Well,
Wisteria syndrome.
it was in California. Hold on. San Jose. It was in 2008 and it was in San Jose, California. It doesn't give a name.
Okay.
Hold on. I need to deep dive on this. Yeah, I don't see a name.
It's probably HIPAA protected.
Yeah, you're probably right. But can I just say Darwinism is an amazing concept, and it's just weeding out the idiots of our society. Just let them figure it out.
Please don't reproduce.
But I guess we need those idiots in our society to take one for the team. How do we ever find out that things are toxic,
Exactly. Oh my gosh. We were watching, I think it was like Norsemen or something like that. It's like a spoof comedy, dry satire of like a Viking show. And the one, there's like one slave guy who's like in charge of all the other slaves, and he's making all the other slaves, they're keeping track of what mushrooms are poisonous and like doing drawings and stuff, and the one guy like definitely dies, and he's like, I'm not really sure which one that is, we're gonna just put this one, like he's
oh no,
he's like fucking up the notes.
Oh shit. Well, everybody's gonna die now. Everybody's gonna die eating the mushrooms on the pizza because they put the wrong fucking ones. Anyway,
do you like mushrooms?
I do. I love mushrooms.
I love mushrooms too.
Yeah, I love a good mushroom pie. So I love veggie pie. I'd rather have veggies on my pizza than meat.
Really?
I know that's unpopular opinion. And fuck all the ham and pineapple people. I said it. I said what I said.
I don't like pineapple. Nasty. We put a shit ton of pesto on our pizza, though. We love pesto.
Yeah, I love me a veggie pie. Anyway,
do you want to segue into a...
Yes, let's do that. We have been chatting for a while, so when we get back, we're going to talk about all the lore surrounding our wondrous wisteria and some different wisteria colors, because there's quite a few, and what they mean. We're going to talk about some cultural significance and where you can find the most beautiful wisteria in the world, and some magic and lore when we come back.
Hey little witches!
the Stinas here. If you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you would know how much we love using the Practical Magic Inner Witch Oracle deck by Grounded by the Moon.
And now we want to share the magic of Grounded by the Moon with you, our listeners. Joseph Benitez Egerton, the creator behind Grounded by the Moon, would like to offer this very special 10% off discount to all who wish to experience the magic of his Practical Magic themed tarot and oracle decks.
But that's not all. He also creates other divination tools like tarot workbooks, deck bags and altar cloths, pendulum kits, oil blends, cleansing sprays, smoke wands, teas, and ritual kits.
And let's not forget about his custom handcrafted all-natural soy candles, where every candle is hand-poured and personally infused and charged under the light of the moon. They even come with a crystal.
And did we mention all of the ingredients in the candles are ethically sourced?
All of Joseph's offerings are just so magical. So go visit groundedbythemoon.com and use the coupon code Magnolia Magic for 10% off your entire order at checkout.
That's MAGNOLIA MAGIC. So get your discount today.
Hey, we're the Stinas, and you're listening to the Magnolia Street Podcast. Okay. We don't even have to do a card pull. Surprise!
No, because we did it already. This is a
We're
fun
just throwing
episode.
Everybody off. Yeah, it's cute.
Right? Isn't
Wisteria's
it?
fun loving. It says, let's just be friends.
It's fun loving until it kills you.
God.
Until you ingest 10 seeds because you got curious and then you die.
Dumbass. Yeah. All right. Do you want me to take the lore? Or do you want to take the lore?
Go for it.
Okay. So Wisteria is known to live more than 100 years, and the plant symbolizes wisdom. What did our card say that we pulled? Meditation?
Yeah.
Buddhists see the spiraling growth pattern as an image of the consciousness reaching out to touch the divine.
Ooh.
It also reminds us that if we do not train our minds, they will go beyond our control. Makes so much sense.
Like a vine.
And in China, its hanging blooms resemble the purple sashes of the elite scholars and officials, so it is associated with success.
Oh.
The strong woody vine has been known to topple supports and even buildings if not kept in check. A strong mental support set deep into the ground is recommended. Wait, a strong metal support set. I was like, yes, you do need a strong mental faculty.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're comparing this to consciousness, then yeah, you also need a strong mental support to.
See, people think I don't know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Goddamn. There are many species in shades of blue, pink, and purple. Royal purple, Japanese wisteria, is one of the darkest hues. Its late spring blooms are highly scented. Victorians who love to send secret messages via bouquets gave the meaning of "I cling to thee" and "let's just be friends." Like, there's some mixed messages in this episode.
Uh-huh.
This makes sense in light of its tightly clinging vine habit. It told of the sender's all-consuming passion.
So basically, if you get a bouquet of wisteria from somebody, they're basically, what do they call it in Wedding Crashers? A stage 5 clinger.
Oh, God.
Do you remember that movie?
Yeah,
Stage
I remember it. I saw it so long ago.
I remember if it was stage 4 or stage 5.
I cling to thee.
That's so dramatic. That's so extreme, those damn Victorians.
I love that. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we mentioned a couple different colors. So what does a pink wisteria mean? It usually symbolizes romance, and it's a plant often used in weddings for this reason. This comes from fuck it, I can't pronounce that. What does white wisteria symbolize?
Well, you know what? It's a funny pun. Florges. Because like flowers and gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Florges.com.
Okay.
That's cute.
Comes Florges.com. What does white wisteria symbolize? It usually is viewed as a symbol of spirituality, purity, and innocence. And blue symbolizes new beginnings. There you go. It doesn't say purple. Purple, I guess, it goes back to the success, I guess, because Chinese elite and scholars wore purple sashes. So there you go.
Yeah. Also, as we mentioned before, chakra, the color of was it the crown or the third eye? So yeah. So what is the cultural significance of a wisteria? So wisteria plants have been grown in places like Japan, Korea, and China for well over 2,000 years. They arrived in the United States in the mid-1800s as ornamental plants. first referred to as the blue vine, these plants were named by botanist Thomas Nuttall, which we referenced before, and practitioners of Feng Shui hold the wisteria plant in special regard. It is used as a source of encouragement during moments of doubt. In China, the
Aw.
wisteria is referred to as a Chinese wisteria. In Japan, the Japanese wisteria plants are seen as being durable and resilient. So, I wanted to mention the wisteria tunnels in Japan because
Cool.
I don't know, I think I saw either something on TikTok or just a random meme that popped up on Facebook or Instagram. These look so cool. Like it looks like a real life fantasy. So these are located in the Kawachi Fuji Gardens in Kita, Kyushu, Japan, 6 hours outside of Tokyo. And the private gardens are known for their wisteria, featuring 150 plants and 20 different species. This article from the architecturaldigest.com, this is called Japan's Wisteria Tunnel is the new go-to flower destination. And this is written by Zoe Weiner, March 15, 2017. So this is a few years old at this point. So it probably is even more popular now at this point. But basically the main attractions are the two 100-meter wisteria tunnels. The living structures are a perfect combination of nature and architecture, sometimes known as arbortecture. Have you ever
Oh
heard of
my
that
God, I
term?
love it. Dude, these
Christina
photos are
just found a new
insane.
term, right? Are you looking at them?
Architecture.
So
Very
pretty.
beautiful.
So the wisteria vines can climb up to 65 feet above ground and 33 feet laterally by twining their stems around any available support, which is how the tunnels were formed. The flowers range in color from dark purple to light purple to white, and they offer a stunning backdrop for a photo shoot. The best time to visit the Kawachi Fuji Gardens is in late April or early May during the Fuji Matsuri or Wisteria Festival, when the magical tunnel is in full bloom. At any other time of the year, you'll find bare branches instead of lush purple flowers. It's around the same time as the nation's famed Cherry Blossom Festival, so you can book a single ticket and experience two of the world's most stunning natural wonders in one fell swoop. Isn't that so cool?
It is unreal
Yeah,
how
some
long they look. They look so like how long do you think those things are?
right.
Feet, like just the flower clusters themselves. Mine are not that long. Mine are like
Hmm.
maybe like 6 inches
Yeah.
long, but these look so beautiful.
I have to say, Japan does trees right. Like they know what they're doing.
Hmm.
Cherry blossoms, these
They
wisteria,
just have such a like affinity for nature
bonsai.
and like a respect for it that we just don't have.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're in Japan around, what did it say? April or May, late April or early May, check out this Wisteria Festival and let us know how it
Nice.
is. I want to go to Japan so bad. There's
Yeah?
so much cool stuff there. Yeah. Do you know they have a robot restaurant?
What the fuck?
A robot restaurant.
Like, how
It's
does that work?
it's a show. So basically, like you pay for a ticket, you sit down and like, they serve you
Is it
like
like a
a
burlesque
restaurant,
show? Oh,
kind of, but with robots and
what the fuck?
Japanese, I guess, I don't know, characters and stuff. It's crazy. Do you remember Jenna
That's
Marbles?
the thing you want to do? Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
her.
Um I think she took down her entire YouTube channel. I would have told you to go look up her video, but she actually went to Japan and she went to this restaurant and that's how I heard about it, but it looks bananas. I'm sure somebody
Okay.
else has posted a video about it on YouTube, so go YouTube that and let me know what you think. It looks nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They also have a lot of bunny cafes over there that I'm like, I want to go. Bunny cafes,
Hashtag Lost Souls Club.
kitten cafes, they're big on the animal cafes. So definitely want to go to Japan and go check out all that. Not to mention all the Studio Ghibli movies and
Yeah.
there's so much,
Yeah.
I'm sure, inspiration over there.
I would want to go to that museum so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So wisteria can also be trained, as we talked about before, as a bonsai tree. And you can find wisteria bonsai in many nurseries. And my husband just bought a second wisteria plant to try to bonsai
My
himself.
husband.
Hope he doesn't kill it. If it's not bonsai'd already, he's got to do it. But we'll let you know how that goes.
Okay. Good luck, Avi.
Yeah, good luck, Avi. The wisteria vine has meaning for Buddhists too. In fact, in the Jodo Shinshu, wait, hold on, this is a tongue twister. The Jodo Shinshu Shin Buddhist sect. The symbol has two conjoined racemes of wisteria. This represents humility to the sect. It also serves as a symbol of prayer. And here we go. We're going back to the Victorian culture. In the Victorian culture, wisteria vines were viewed as a warning against an over passionate love. That, like I said,
I cling to thee.
that stage four clinger. You can
Right.
understand this interpretation by looking at the plants as the vines cling together and choke each other out.
So yeah, I guess I was right. I guess I should thin them out then a little bit. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
for like tomato plants, you need to like thin out a bunch of branches. So, because it helps with the airflow too. So I think I
Right.
gotta go do that.
That makes sense.
So I love me a tattoo, and this popped up. I don't know the source, but what about a wisteria tattoo? What do they symbolize? So there are plenty good reasons to get a wisteria tattoo. It's often viewed as a symbol of prayer or thoughtful reverence. So getting a wisteria tattoo can show that your own consciousness is expanding. It can also be used to symbolize love or sensuality. So it's a very romantic tattoo to get. I like the consciousness, it's expansion
Uh-huh. The
thought more
whole
so.
Zen Buddhist meditative kind
Yeah.
of vibe. Love
Yeah,
it.
vibe with me, baby.
Vibe, such a vibe. All right, so we're gonna talk about some magic and how can we use wisteria in our witchcraft. Before we get into the wondrous wisteria in our magic, though, let's first review its magical correspondences. So I did a search for it in Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and wisteria being such a witchy herb, I was surprised to find, hello, it's not in there. I was
It's
like,
not an
what?
herb though, it's a plant.
Yeah, but this, Christina, this book is full of herbs, plants, everything.
Okay.
I was
I guess
so
it's not
shocked.
recommended. Okay, for magical workings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
was
shut up now.
shocked that it was not in there. I was like, what?
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I couldn't believe it. But I did find its correspondences via this article and product listing for a wisteria oil by the Conjured Saint on the Conjured Saint.com. Wow, I can't say that word. And this looks heavenly. So Christina, click on that link and let me know. Doesn't that look so
Ooh, that's so
magical? It
pretty.
looks so
That
magical.
is very pretty. It has like a very royal purple hue, but it's like
Uh-huh.
it's not glitter in it, but it looks very
It
shimmery.
doesn't it look shimmery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Overcoming
So
obstacles and drawing prosperity and psychic something or other.
yeah,
Psychic
yeah, yeah,
openings.
yeah. Yeah. So like I'm like, don't use this near a hawthorn tree because it will be instant transportation into the fairy realm.
You'll just blast off.
You're never coming back from the fairy realm, basically,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
use this near a hawthorn tree. So let's talk about its magical uses. So the gender is female, the planet is Mercury, the element is air, the zodiac is Gemini and Virgo.
Oh.
Ayo. The day it represents is Wednesday, and the deities are Hermes and Mercury. So use this oil for raising vibrations, promoting psychic openings, overcoming obstacles, and to draw prosperity. Some other magical uses are psychic development, wisdom, meditation, which is what we
There you
saw in
go.
Joseph's beautiful card deck, divine blessings. And less common associations include love, prosperity, and healing from grief, soothing, stress release, beauty that increases with age, and breaking curses.
I just
So,
want to show you the Conjured Saints Instagram real quick. I'm going to go ahead and follow them.
oh my God,
That's a handsome man.
he's beautiful.
That's the most beautiful man. Anyway, we're going to follow
What
them and just
in
let them
the
know that we appreciate their wisteria oil.
oh, do
What
we
in the
appreciate
Saints?
do we appreciate their wisteria oil, or do we appreciate those beautiful eyes?
Those blue eyes.
Those beautiful blue
Well
eyes.
done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. All right. So we're not both married women. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. All right, so where we leave. Oh, okay. So
Where
plant
are
scent
we?
properties. The plant scent properties may aid in meditation, embracing one's femininity, channeling, and overcoming the fear of intimacy. So I guess that's just by getting a whiff of the plant,
Mm.
inhaling its invigorating senses.
Mm.
Allegedly. I've never
Allegedly.
I've never smelled one. Christina, you were supposed to go get a cutting and
Ah,
let me know
fuck.
what that smells like.
Okay.
So metaphysical properties. So wisteria is for women who have problems with their femininity and sexuality, and for men who deny the softer and more feminine parts of themselves. It relieves fear of intimacy in both men and women and brings a balance within ourselves. Used as anointing oil for prayer and meditation, wisteria oil is also an aid to channeling. An herb of scholars and students, like we read before how it was the sash on, I guess, students who are graduating to represent success.
The officials, it was
Uh-huh.
like higher ups, like the officials and like
Okay. Okay.
well learned men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the wisteria aids in keeping thoughts organized, which makes sense why it's represented by Virgo, in the pursuit of intellectual development.
There you
So
go.
wisteria is a door between the world of men and the higher ones. So it can help you connect to your higher consciousness, bring illumination. So wear a flower on yourself only when in complete serenity. Old ones from the gypsies use wisteria to wash their hands in before giving a reading via tarot cards or tea leaves to bring them more success while working. And also, if we're talking about getting in more connection with your higher chakras, which represents your intuition, that makes sense for, I guess, any kind of intuitive to work with the wisteria when doing their divinational readings. That makes perfect sense. So, this person says, the way I use wisteria in my craft is drying flowers and adding them to mojo bags, spell jars, or using flowers as a loose incense. Also, growing it along the fence as a barrier from the outside world. I also use leaves and stems in smudging wands. Okay, he says he uses them outside, but still, if that shit's poisonous, I don't know if I would want to be fucking around with that for burning purposes. But he says he uses them in smudging wands outside and stems for wands. Nothing goes to waste, he says, when I pick from my garden or a family member's. And I always ask permission from the family member and the dryads or elemental protectors' permission. If you work with, elemental or fairy spirits in your garden, ask them for protection before you pick anything. Another thing
Right.
is I only use loose dried flowers and leaves in my incense. I never buy sticks or cones of wisteria from shops knowing it has other synthetics in it. And then he says, just a bonus I thought you might enjoy. What does wisteria as a flower mean? It's believed wisteria symbolizes good luck, especially for the start of a business or a new marriage, welcoming someone to a new town or home, celebrating the youthful vitality of a young friend or child, expressing your affections after meeting someone special for the first time, serious devotion, whether it's to a cause or another person, new births, and spring birthdays. And wisteria isn't a specific flower for any of the months, but many people associate it with March and April because it blooms during those months. So, what are magical oils? Because this listing, this page, this is all under a listing, by the way, and he sells this magical wisteria oil. So, magical oils have been used for their mystical, energizing, and transformative powers for thousands of years by many cultures and religions for ritual and occult purposes. The uses of magical oil goes back to ancient times, spanning the boundaries of culture and doctrine. Their widespread popularity throughout the globe speaks to their effectiveness and strength. Today, we use these sacred oils in many of the same ways as our ancestors, harnessing a powerful energy that transcends space and time. An important use of magical oil is to strengthen your intent for a specific task or even strengthen your relationship with spirit. Magical oils act as a beacon for energy you want to attract, making it a powerful addition to any ritual or intention. You can use magical oil as an aid or support to focus your energy throughout the day to reach your goals. Applying your intent with the oil helps open the way for energy to flow toward the goal you want to achieve. Oils are known for their spiritually infused, uplifting properties. And the Conjured Saint offers a variety of magical oils formulated for healing, consecration, protection, enhancing psychic visions, honoring spirits and deities, drawing love, luck, and money, repelling evil, turning back curses, the evil eye, la maloicho.
Malakio. Yeah.
So, oils are an essential element to any spell, prayer, altar, or spiritual practice. So you can check out his listing for this. We will link this in our show notes, and you could read this a little more in depth if you want to. But yeah, this oil looks amazing, and I
It's
kind of want
so
to buy a bottle.
pretty.
Isn't it so
You should,
pretty?
oh, please buy a bottle. Yeah, do it.
It's just so shimmery and purple and magical, and
You ever see that TikTok where that girl like just like hits her makeup brush and it sprinkles down all the like glittery
no.
sparkles in slow motion with this big beautiful like music behind it? I don't know what it is, but I am transported back to like 6 years old. And like I don't know if it's like Disney or something, but it gets me every time and that gives me the same feeling.
Just
Like that
magical vibes.
glitteriness. the magical
Mm-hmm.
vibes. Again, we're not sponsored, but
Yeah.
go check him out. That's the
Yeah.
Conjured Saint.
It was just the first thing that I found when I was searching magical correspondences because I was like, if we're using this in our witchcraft, like I want to know like what it represents. What is,
Sure.
the deities that it represents, the I guess the planets,
Yeah,
the
the correspondences.
elements,
Sure.
everything. Like it's just good to know, get a good basis of what it represents if you want to use it in your magic. So
Yeah.
his page was the first thing that popped up, and I was like, ooh, this is a
Ooh,
fun find.
very
But you
nice.
had an article, another Moody Moons article. You want to tell us about that?
Yay! Moody Moons is back. They were in one of our very first episodes because I kept saying Moody Moons. I kept fucking up the name. But they had 9 ways to use Wisteria in spells and magic. So just they say please note that Wisteria is poisonous to pets and children. Be mindful of this. So you can leave some at a gravesite. The next time you visit the gravesite of a loved one, consider leaving wisteria flowers. They symbolize the eternal nature of love. Adorn your loved one's final resting place with wisteria and let them know that you're open to communicating with them.
I just have a little side note to add there. So I don't know how grave sites or graveyards are in other states, but I know where I'm at, the not laws, but I guess when you go into a cemetery, they have very strict laws about like what you can grow
What you
or
can leave behind.
leave at the gravesite. I'm
Oh,
sure if they saw that thing trailing, they're gonna cut that shit down right away, you know?
I think they mean cuttings, like like cut some
Okay.
and then leave some in a vase.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess that's a little
yeah.
different. I'm like,
Oh, that
if
would be
you
so
imagine
badass.
if
A
you planted
mausoleum
that.
covered in wisteria.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
So
a
you
lot of
can,
like southern, like if you go to like Savannah, I'm sure there's some cemeteries with some of that around Savannah.
yeah.
Go to Savannah now, so bad now they were just talking about that with Marissa.
No. Yeah, we were. I really want to go also.
Hmm.
All right. So you can use these for endurance or long-term projects. Wisteria is a slow flowering plant. It's fast growing, but it is slow to flower. It can take between 3 and 5 years to bloom. I don't know. Justina says she has little blossoms on hers. I'm really thinking that the ones they sell in the store are a few years old. So,
Mature enough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The delayed gratification of this plant makes it ideal for boosting efforts in long term projects. Consider planting some in your backyard and cultivating it alongside a long term project or goal to parallel your mundane energy with your magical gardening. That reminds
Mm.
me also of the saguaro, how it's like a patience. That's why I bought that. I'm not wearing it necklace, the saguaro necklace, about patience.
Uh-huh.
And like you have to trust the process. It will
Yeah.
happen, it will manifest.
Sometimes we need those little reminders, even if it's as simple as wearing a little talisman or charm, nice, or even your tattoos. They're a nice little reminder, you know?
For sure. Sympathetic magic.
Hmm.
So I did this next one actually this past Beltane. I put a little bit of the, after doing these notes, I was like, whew, thank God it's not poisonous. So I put a little bit in my fairy offering in the woods. So you can use
Oh.
it as an offering to the spirits of the woodlands. If you spend a lot of time taking nature walks in the woods, leave a bouquet of wisteria in a place sacred to you as a symbolic offering to the spirits of the woodlands. Ask for their inspiration in creative projects and for their aid in attaining deeper states of meditation. I will just say, if this is like, I love the little woodland creatures. Maybe put it like up somewhere. I don't know.
Wait, but hold on a second, because woodland creatures, like they they live out there, right? So they know what's poisonous and what's not. They know
I
kind of
don't
know what to
know.
stay away from, you know?
I don't. Maybe. I hope so. But
Or
it almost looks like candy. Like if you're in like brown and green woods and then you see this big purple bouquet, you're like,
mm.
oh, I want that. You know?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I have this idea, like if it's not a domesticated animal and they've been outside for a while and they know how to fend for themselves out in nature, they should know the difference between poisonous stuff and not poisonous stuff, you know?
Again, hashtag Darwinism.
Darwinism at its
All right.
finest.
So you can use this in spellcraft to initiate friendship. You can bring a bouquet of wisteria flowers to a new neighbor or new acquaintance to initiate a friendly relationship. The intertwining nature of wisteria vines represents the tie that binds human relationships. So it can invigorate your youthful spirit. If you've got a goal that's best served by a youthful approach, being playful, creative, or even risk taking, and you're having trouble getting out of your head, wisteria can symbolize a whimsical spirit. So you can place a vase of these flowers on your altar to draw out your inner child. Just be careful, be careful with the animals. This can help in workings of love and romance. Decorate your altar with swaths of these flowers when casting spells to draw an attraction to your life. Taking a long walk through trees cascading with vines of these drippy, dreamy flowers is just about the most romantic thing I can think of,
They
right?
are very drippy and oh God, they
That's
are
such a good word,
a
drippy.
drippy, dreamy flower. Love it.
So these can also be used to enhance your second sight. Mark your sacred circle with these flowers for divination. They come in different colors, but the purple blooms in particular promote deep insight and the wonder of seeing beyond the physical world into the hidden meanings beyond the veil. I love that idea. Just
Mm-hmm.
sprinkle in the flowers in like the circle you cast. Fucking
Yeah.
lit. It says these can be used for grace. If you've ever seen these flowers in the wild, it's hard to miss its inherent grace and elegance. Cultivate it in your garden and simultaneously cultivate your own grace, elegance, and beauty alongside it. I could plant 100 wisteria and the next life, I will have grace. I am so ungraceful. It's ridiculous. I really need grace in my life and patience. So this is the flower for me.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I have for you from Moody Moons is to heal grief. And I love this. It's been a hard spring. If you find white wisteria, lucky you. The gorgeous version offers healing and hope after an extended period of mourning or grief. Sit beneath a vine of white wisteria to meditate and reflect on the grieving process, as well as the joys of your continuing relationships that go beyond the veil.
Oh.
So that's what she's got for you. But again, there's no wrong way to incorporate it into your magic. This is just suggestions. Just don't eat it.
Yeah. Did you get a cutting?
I have a cutting. They're starting to wilt already.
Oh no, they're so pretty. So question, is it like any other plant? Like if you deadhead, it'll make more blooms?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it is. Yeah. Because I don't know if I included it later on, but this could probably not even be in these notes. But like, if you want it to flower, like cut it back really hard because then it thinks it's dying. So it's like boom,
Whoa.
then it starts flowering.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the flowers look very sacred feminine. Like if you look really,
Oh
really close,
yeah.
hang on, let's see. They're very like yoni looking.
Vaginal.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Very.
it does have a scent.
Does it?
It smells like almost like a sharp, like almost like like a mojito smells like
Really?
almost minty.
Ooh.
It's very soft. Like from here, can't smell it. It's got to be way up in the nose.
They're like little pillows. So pillowy. So question, the poisonous part, it's the seed you said, or the pod inside that little pillow?
I think it's up in here. Yeah, I think it's up.
Okay.
That's where the seed would be.
So is there any way that it could like fall out while you're holding it?
I think it would have to be dried.
Okay.
Let me see.
Oh,
Sometimes the seeds come after like the whole flower has fallen away. I
okay.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did have a book called the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Healing Remedies, and it did have a little blip on it. It said in Western culture, sex and gender issues are sometimes seen as a matter of power and control. So wisteria helps one overcome inhibitions, blocks, and emotional conflicts produced by this dualistic attitude. It can help transcend the roles and to be more comfortable with one's own sexuality. It can enable them, talking about the individual, to be more open to express themselves and experience the intimate power of the passivity of the orgasm.
Okay.
All right. So
Scandalous.
it had a little thing that said goal. So it said the goal is to be comfortable with one's own sexuality. Women who need wisteria may be frigid, cold to the touch, taboo, or not enjoy sex at all. They just can't lose that control or give themselves over. Men who need wisteria may be equally fearful and quote unquote role bound, being macho or a new man when they should just let go and be themselves. And associated symptoms may be genital herpes, warts, or pelvic congestion linked to a pattern or history of abuse, as well as very painful menstruation.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that's what my book had to say. We
Oh
will
damn.
link that.
The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Healing Remedies. Interesting.
Yes, it's a big old textbook. So
Okay.
I had AI write a poem
Oh, this is an AI poem? I'm like, who wrote
about
this?
wisteria. Do
Oh,
you
so
want to read it?
this is a poem by Wilhelmina A. Ingram.
Wilhelmina A. Ingram in the
Good old,
house.
good old Wilhelmina. All right, so the Wisteria poem by Wilhelmina A. Ingram. Amidst the garden's peaceful scene. I feel like we need to put like piano music behind this or something.
We can do
Amidst
that.
All right. Amidst the garden's peaceful scene, a lovely plant with blooms of sheen. Wisteria, its name serene. Lavender cascades, a charming dream. Its tendrils twirl and softly sway in the gentle breeze of May. A fragrant scent that's there to stay as it welcomes a new day. With every petal, a delight. In the morning's dewy light, its beauty such a wondrous sight as it.
Dang, this guy went real rhymey.
Oh my God, Rhymey McRhymerson over here, as it dances in its might. Oh, Wisteria, how you inspire with your grace and gentle fire, a symbol of love that won't expire as we watch you grow higher. So let us take a moment still to admire your beauty at will. And as the world around us fills, we'll bask in the joy that you instill. Beautiful.
Not terrible.
Not bad, but
not too
super,
bad.
super rhymey. Super rhymey.
Super rhymey.
Yeah, next time we ask AI for a poem, let's just like give it the old little like, cool it on the rhymes.
Yeah. Light rhymes, please.
Light rhymage, por favor. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna talk about some wisteria and pop culture. Where do we see wisteria in TV, movies, music, film, blah blah blah. The most famous one that I could think of off the top of my head is the street, Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives, starring Terry Hatcher, Marsha Cross, Eva Longoria. Vanessa Williams did a little stint on that show, among many other starlets. There were a few other famous people on there, but those are like the main ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Did you ever watch Desperate Housewives? You're not a fan? It's juicy. It's a good show. It's really good for prime time, like, those like dramas after.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty good. I recommend it, and very entertaining. So Wisteria Lane is the name of a fictional street at the center of this drama series. So Desperate Housewives, in the storyline, it primarily centers on the residents of the street. The set for Wisteria Lane is located inside the Universal Studios Hollywood lot and is actually named Colonial Street, which is an area that has been used for many motion pictures and television shows. Other film and television productions in which Colonial Street has been featured includes the original Leave It to Beaver series, Gremlins, The Burbs, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Wow.
So, in 2005, for the second season of Desperate Housewives, the street went through some heavy changes. During the first season, only one part of the street had been seen on the show, and the cul-de-sac at the end of the street, it was known as Circle Drive among film crews. It was left out. So now the majority of the buildings and facades in this part of the street were either heavily remodeled or removed. Among the most noticeable changes were the removals of the church facade seen on Murder, She Wrote, in order to make room for Edie's house, a character on Desperate Housewives. And one of the so-called colonial mansions was replaced by a park. In the film Beethoven's Third, which was released in 2000, the street can clearly be seen with the shops and the church still in place around Circle Drive. The shop begins in Circle Drive at the shops, then Mrs. McCluskey's, or Lynette's, and Catherine's, Bree's, Susan's, Mary Alice's, all these characters, they're also in the shop. The shop then continues into Gabby's, who's played by Eva Longoria, Gabby's driveway, and then down the rest of the street. Colonial Street, including Circle Drive, has 16 main buildings, with 3 of them located outside the Desperate Housewives filming area. The house closest to the settings, located next to what is called 4348 Wisteria Lane within the show, is being used by guards to stop any unauthorized access to Wisteria Lane. Now, talking about actual wisteria on Wisteria Lane, if I'm not mistaken, I think Lynette's house has some kind of vine or like wisteria, like on some kind of trellis. If you go to this wiki page for Wisteria Lane, there's a whole map and lot of all the houses, and they're listed by number and the residents who live in them. So if you go to number 4355, the address number on Wisteria Lane, that is Lynette Scavo's house. Yeah, she has wisteria. Do you see little wisteria vines on that one?
I do. I see them.
Yeah. So Lynette
pretty
has
green
wisteria
house. Very pretty.
On her house.
Another house that I love is the Gilmore Girls house, and it's not super Victorian. It has the porch,
Uh-huh. Does
But
it
it's
have
blue and
wisteria?
it also has wisteria on it, and it's so
I never
pretty.
noticed
So
that.
pretty.
Hold
Yeah,
on, let
Gilmore
me
Girls
look
house.
that up. Oh shit. I never noticed that had wisteria on it. Okay.
It just always stuck out to me because I know it's supposed to be set in New England, and whenever they
Mhm.
shot like winter scenes with snow, the wisteria was still there, and I'm like,
Oh.
Hollywood fucked up.
Fake wisteria. Fake, fake,
Right.
fake. Going back to Desperate Housewives for a minute, and pop culture, there is a podcast. If you are a Desperate Housewives fanatic, check out the Wisteria Gaze, which is a Desperate Housewives podcast by Ned Parker and Mackenzie Wilkes.
Oh my
In
God.
November of 2022, it looks like they wrapped up their fourth season, and as of March, I think this past year, 2023, they went on a hiatus, and I think they're still currently on a hiatus. They made a little announcement, but they did have four juicy seasons. So if you're into Desperate Housewives and you want, I guess, a comical approach to, I guess, all the fandom and lore behind the series and the characters, check out this podcast. I have not listened to it yet. I just came across it in my research, but now I'm intrigued. I want to listen to this. This looks so fun.
Are you gonna still be listening to my screeching 4 years from now, I wonder?
Oh God, can you imagine if we
I don't
have
know.
4 seasons of this?
It's very possible. We have not even cracked the tip of the iceberg with our
Mm.
topics, so
Oh yeah.
very possible.
Oh yes. And speaking of iceberg, if we get further down that Titanic rabbit hole and how we're linking those two storylines, I'm just intrigued. That's all
Leonardo DiCaprio is gonna call us. He's gonna be like, "Stop it,
I'll say. Leonardo
stop."
DiCaprio's gonna call us.
Billy Zane's
James
gonna call us.
Billy Zane's gonna call us. James Cameron and everybody involved, and they're just gonna be like, no,
Mm-hmm.
mm-mm,
Mm-hmm.
knock it off. And I didn't really go too far down the pop culture rabbit hole, but if you have more, feel free to weigh in. I did not know about the Gilmore Girls house having the wisteria, so that's cool. And I watched an entire series, but it's just something that, like, I didn't really pay attention to. It's subtle
Right.
if you're not looking for it. So
Mm-mm.
then in April of 2022, there was an article posted on worldofreal.com. There might have been an update on this since then, since this article's kind of outdated at this point. But Twin Peaks director David Lynch
Ooh.
apparently is working on a new Netflix project called Wisteria. It seemed as though Lynch was getting back to work with a mysterious new project, and a rumor back in March of 2022 hinting that Lynch was partnering with Netflix for an upcoming limited series. No plot has been revealed, but there were rumblings of a possible, quote, Mulholland Drive spin-off or even continuation of Twin Peaks, also known as The Return.
I like Twin Peaks a lot.
Did
Is
you
David
finish?
Lynch? I think David Lynch was the picture on our Discord that I posted that I envisioned the older man as older Vincent, like old man Vincent.
Oh, yeah, maybe, maybe.
Yeah, is that guy.
Okay. So Lynch veterans Naomi Watts and Laura Dern have even been spotted attending a meeting at Netflix headquarters for this undisclosed project. So back in February of 2022, there was a supposed insider on Reddit who had posted details about Lynch's upcoming project, which was said to shoot in late spring before the pandemic hit, under the working title, quote, Wisteria. The rumor had Netflix greenlighting 13-hour-long episodes and a budget of $85 million. So, not 13-hour long, 13 episodes that are
One
an
hour long.
hour, 1 hour long.
Yeah.
It could have been taken the other way because if you've seen any of David Lynch's movies, they're long as fuck.
Are they?
Um,
Okay.
well, Holland Drive is like a 3-4 hour long movie, just saying. Um,
I've never seen it.
it's bananas. It's a 3-hour long movie of a fever dream. It doesn't make sense.
Oh no.
But it's
Okay.
fascinating if you're into that type of thing. So yeah, so the miniseries may or may not have been a set of hour-long movies. It was never confirmed, but then Production Weekly Notes posted the day after that working title, listing that it was indeed Wisteria. So I guess that is the name of the show or whatever it ends up being. The listing also stated that the production was due to begin in May 2021 and that it would be filming in the Calvert Studios. So that was the last, I guess, article about it. 2022, April 2022. It's now a year later, and I guess nothing has happened yet, but there's word that this is might be happening. Sidebar, going back to Twin Peaks. Do you know who was in Twin
Yes.
Peaks? Do you know who was in Twin Peaks?
There were many people in Twin Peaks.
Hold on.
Is it someone connected to practical magic?
Hold on. Can you I'm gonna send you this link.
Shut up. What? Where? What? Who was he? Billy Zane was in Twin Peaks?
That's what
On
this
Justice
says.
Wheeler. What?
Billy Zane was in fucking Twin Peaks. I was waiting for Twin Peaks to come up naturally in conversation to mention this, and
Oh my God.
I'm so glad that it did today because I couldn't wait to
Look
tell you.
how handsome he is. Oh,
Huh?
oh,
Yeah.
baby.
So Billy Zane was in Twin Peaks.
That is so fucking funny.
We're gonna do a whole Billy Zane episode one
Dude,
day,
it's all connected.
one of these days. It's all connected. It's all connected. Who would
All
have
right.
thought that by talking about Wisteria, we would have been talking about David Lynch, we would have been talking about Twin Peaks, and lead back to Billy Zane.
I know.
Nice little nugget.
Little nugget. So our last little nugget, speaking of food,
Do you
we have the
wait,
little
before we move
recipes.
on to food, do you have any other pop culture references or anywhere else that you can think of that we've seen in TV or movies that we've seen Wisteria creeping up?
You
Anything?
know, I don't, but I'm gonna look, I'll do a quick little Spotify search and
I
see
was
what
looking
comes up.
for, yeah, I was looking for songs, but
Dan
I
Fogelberg has a song called Wisteria, but it's spelled
really
with a Y.
okay.
Yeah. And Richard Schindel also
Okay.
has a song, Art Farmer. There's a band called Wisteria. There is a playlist called Wisteria Evergreen.
Ooh,
So no, besides the Gilmore Girls thing, I don't have it. Nothing I can think of
I
with
found
Wisteria.
something. I found
Why?
something. All
Why?
right, you might be into this because this looks very Victorian. There is a book series, a three-part book series called The Dangerous Damsels book series by India Holton, Elizabeth Nolden. This book is called The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels.
Ooh, I want
Look
to
at this.
read that.
Look at this book. It looks freaking adorable.
Gotta put that on my
And
Goodreads.
the cover looks very Victorian. Look at I just sent you the link in the chat. And the Kindle, you can buy it on Kindle for $9.99. You could buy it on Audible for $14.95. They also have a paperback for $11.
I love it.
$7.79. Yeah.
All right.
So just a little quick little tidbit about this book. It was a New York Times notable book of 2021, and a New York Times book review says it's the kind of book for which the word rollicking was invented. What's rollicking?
Like getting a little sassy, frolicking in the hay.
Okay. So it says a prim and proper lady thief must save her aunt from a crazed pirate and his dangerously charming henchman in this fantastical
Come on.
historical romance. So a little bit more about this. This does take place, Christina, in the Victorian era.
Fantastic.
So Cecilia Bassingwaite is our heroine. She is the ideal Victorian lady. She's also a thief, like the other members of the Wisteria Society crime sorority. She flies around England drinking tea, blackmailing friends, and acquiring treasure by interesting means. Sure, she has a dark and traumatic past and an overbearing aunt, but all things considered, it's a pleasant existence. Until the men show up. Ned Lightbourne is a sometimes assassin who was smitten with Cecilia from the moment they met. Unfortunately, that happens to be while he's under direct orders to kill her. His employer, Captain Morvath, who possesses a Gothic abbey bristling with cannons and unbridled hate for the world, intends to rid England of all its presumptuous women, starting with the Wisteria Society. Ned has plans of his own, but both men have made one grave mistake. Never underestimate a woman.
Hell yeah.
When Morvath imperils the Wisteria Society, Cecilia is forced to team up with her handsome would-be assassin to save the women who raised her, hopefully proving once and for all that she's as much of a scoundrel as the rest of them. That
I
sounds
love enemies to lovers
right?
plot line.
And
That's all Bridgerton has been lately, by the way.
That's a 3-part series, so
Wow.
seems yeah.
That's cool. I like it. I'm interested.
Yeah. And the cover,
It has pirates.
The cover's just gorgeous. It has pirates.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got everything.
Got everything. We'll link that. We'll link that below.
So this is from tyronfarms.com, and it has a couple of different recipes, actually. The one I'll just go into detail, and the other ones I'll just kind of give you what they are. But go check them out if you're interested in making them. I didn't want to just go blow through a bunch of recipes because that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
But they say one of the things that really stands out about Wisteria is that it's so dang abundant. If you find a spot where the flower clusters are relatively low to the ground, you can pick a bucket of wisteria flowers. This is if you see it in the wild, I guess,
Yeah.
in a matter of minutes. So they listed a recipe for a sparkling wisteria flower cordial, and I'm all for it. So
Whoa.
the whole link for the recipe will be below. It says, how do wisteria flowers taste by themselves? Plain wisteria flowers taste like slightly sweet lettuce with hints of bitter grape and peas. Wisteria is a legume, and you can eat wisteria flowers raw in a salad or use them as a color for garnish. Should I try a wisteria flower? I'm gonna try one.
Oh my God. You're nuts. Please don't die. Darwinism.
I know. All right, I'm just gonna pick off
Okay,
the flower
Christina's
pot.
gonna take one for the team right now. You're gonna end up on that article with that idiot that
I'm just eating the purple part. I'm not gonna
okay.
eat the greens.
Don't eat the seeds. What's it taste like?
Ooh,
What's it taste like?
that does have like a little lettucey flavor.
Uh-huh.
It just tastes like outside.
It
It tastes like dirt.
tastes like cat piss.
It kind of just tastes like dirt.
Oh, all
All
right.
right. So you can also eat wisteria flowers raw in salad, okay, as a color for garnish. How does sparkling wisteria flower cordial taste? Sparkling wisteria flower cordial tastes dang near magical and way better than the flowers taste by themselves. The
Okay.
cordial tastes distinctly like the flowers smell, but amplified by several orders of magnitude and features a delightful effervescence from the fermentation process, hence the
Oh,
sparkling name.
so you ferment them.
Yes, a cordial
Okay.
is usually like like kind of like a liqueur, like a
Okay.
mix. You could
Right.
mix it in with something.
Yeah.
But y'all, I also found recipes. Sorry, the flour is like sticking to the roof of my mouth. On Turkish style cooking, they have a recipe for wisteria sherbet, which looks more like a drink than ice cream.
Okay.
But if you can make it into a liquid, you could probably make it into ice cream. Tina and Time.uk has a recipe for wisteria syrup. Will also be linked.
Wow.
And gourmetglow.co.uk has a recipe for wisteria tea, which sounds pretty straightforward. But this one sounds really fucking good. Redbud and wisteria spring rolls. They look
What?
really good. It's from wildedible.com. They
Ooh.
look fucking good.
Those look
And
pretty.
I'm
Those look
is
too pretty to eat.
right, they're
Those
so
look
beautiful.
gorgeous.
A word about caution. Yes, the seeds are very toxic. Redbud flowers are tiny and delicate.
So the redbud flowers are also toxic?
No. Sorry, I'm just skipping. I'm skipping around here.
Oh.
So the redbud tree, the flowers, they're so like fuchsia pink,
Mm-hmm.
in the springtime. It's so crazy. Do you have redbud trees where you are?
I probably do. New Jersey has everything. There's so many different trees that bloom here in the spring. They're all
Okay.
so pretty, but I don't know. I probably if I've seen it, I probably know what it is, but just not have known it was called a
Okay.
redbud.
So I'll just read through the ingredients. You're gonna need rice paper, Thai rice noodles, chickweed leaves, and flowers. Half a cup of wisteria flowers, redbud flowers. You can do a handful of basil or cilantro. They use Thai basil. So you're gonna bring a quart of water to boil, remove from heat, add the rice noodles, let them soak for 10 minutes, then rinse with cool water and drain. Fill a bowl with hot water to soak the rice paper. Lay out the flowers and leaves in individual piles to facilitate assembly. Soak one wrapper at a time for 5 to 10 seconds. Lay the wrapper on a towel, add ingredients, lay out flowers first so they'll be on the outside, which makes it look so pretty. They say Cindy likes to build them from the middle of the wrapper, but some say the bottom works best, and fold the sides up carefully. And then they have like a jelly dipping sauce with garlic, ginger, vinegar. What's tamari? Tamari?
Is it
Basil
tamarind?
leaves.
Tamarind?
Eamari. Substitute with salt
Oh,
if you want your sauce to be red. So I just think that looks so stinking
they're
good.
gorgeous. They're very
Yeah,
pretty.
they're very pretty.
Wow.
I'll let you know if I start getting a little sick.
Oh yeah.
It did have a flavor. It did have a flavor. I think the smell is better than the flavor.
Okay. Do we want to check out Wisteria? Does Wisteria Ryan have anything to tell us about Wisteria
I
in her
don't think
dreams?
she did. I don't think she did this time, unfortunately. I'm a liar. I didn't even bother looking.
You asshole.
Sorry. So if you dream about wisteria, this is the time to make sure that the way you carry yourself, your mannerisms, and your attitude is proper and accepted by your family and loved ones, especially for the next 3 days. So she's saying behave.
For 3 days.
Behave for 3 days.
But then you can act a fool. So, dreamsmeaning.org says the wisteria in the dream symbolizes the sweetness of love and the happiness of family. A man dreams of wisteria, indicating that you can find a gentle, virtuous, and reasonable wife. Women dreaming of wisteria indicates that you can find a smart, capable, loving, and righteous husband. It says, what does dreams about withered wisteria mean? It says it denotes a lack of confidence. It kind of almost sounds like what the aunts say, right? It denotes a lack of courage.
Right.
Denotes a lack of confidence in the completion of the agreement, whatever that agreement is. What does a dream about beautiful wisteria mean? It indicates ignorance, stupidity, selfishness, and gluttony.
Oh my God. All right.
What does it mean to dream about lush wisteria? This indicates that you will succeed after worry. What does it mean to dream of wisteria in bloom? It may be bringing your awareness to the fact that you have been inundated with information and other people's influence, and you need a break to get back to your own conditioning field. Dreaming of small wisteria means you may not feel secure within our present living conditions. Red wisteria, it represents projects and activities that we feel drain our time. Dreaming of yellow wisteria, which is weird because yellow wisteria, does that even exist? We didn't talk about yellow wisteria. It represents a desire for compatibility, having sex, or perhaps that someone is manipulating you. Dreaming of blue wisteria represents one's intimate feelings and brethren. Dreaming green wisteria represents your hastiness and disappointed efforts. Purple wisteria signifies happiness and luxury. Dreaming of black wisteria signifies a nurturing nature or need. And to see a white wisteria in a dream signifies wider, more global communication and available information. Dreaming of orange wisteria suggests the fear of losing faith and belief. To dream of pink wisteria suggests finding something new or openings to a higher consciousness. Brown wisteria in a dream suggests that you are on the right track in life and headed in the right direction. Gray wisteria in a dream suggests the ability to use masculinity in a more refined way. Silver wisteria symbolizes the interior of the body, the deepest levels of the mind. Gold wisteria tells that some disaster is surely approaching you. To dream of multicolored wisteria, it tells you that your life should be ruled from within, not from outside. And different people dreaming of wisteria implies what? So if a man dreams of wisteria, symbolizes overwhelming confusion. A woman dreaming of wisteria symbolizes your sister or female figure in your waking life. A boy dreaming about wisteria, warning of coming ill health. If a girl dreams about wisteria, you need to think about how you're perceived by others. Dude, this is crazy. Like how
That's a
long is
lot.
this? Yeah.
But can you imagine if somebody came up with like a hybrid or like a new variety of like black and silver wisteria? How fucking cool that would look together.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. This goes on. So it's like a teacher, a student, a child, a worker, a businessman, a driver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like
That's a lot.
I think that was it. So that's all on dreamanalysis.org. We'll link that below.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think
This
that's
was
all.
fun. This was like a little fun one.
Yeah.
No pressure. Not that any of them ever feel pressure, but some of them are like so big.
Some of them do require a significant amount of research and splunking
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this
And
was
we do take a lot of time too to like because they come up so much in the books and the movie, and this one didn't. This one didn't really. So we didn't have a whole lot to
surprisingly
like go
enough,
off of. Right.
surprisingly, because this is so affiliated with this, I guess, world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wisteria Club. Oh, I'm so happy you have one now.
Yeah, so and I got to figure out a good place to plant it because Avi brought up a good point. If I plant it where I had it, like I showed you, like where I had it up against the house, it's gonna shade out my other plants probably there, and those
Mm.
plants need full sun. So I don't know if that's the best spot for it. I'll have to probably
You
figure
can
it out.
always dig it up. You know, you
Yeah.
can always just keep putting it in bigger and bigger pots too for now until you really find the place you want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Avi's got to figure out where to put his because he ain't jacking the space I'm planning for mine.
I can't wait to see what
I
he does
think
to this bonsai.
I think he's gonna keep his in a big pot though because he wants to
Right,
like shape it like a bonsai. So
right.
we'll see
How
how
long
that
does
turns
that
out.
process take? Like quite a while, doesn't it? How big is he going to make it? Like a
I have no
teeny
idea.
bonsai?
I don't know.
Could you give Magnolia Street like a monthly update
I'm gonna
about
have
baby
to. I'm
bonsai?
gonna have to do baby bonsai. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. We'll have to give it a name too. I'll have to tell him to
yeah.
name it bonsai.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
you guys can find us Over on Instagram, we're Magnolia Street Podcast. We are on TikTok. You can email us magnoliastreetpodcast@gmail.com. All of our links are in our Koji. All of our sources are down below in the description. You can find us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Magnolia Street Podcast, where we have many tiers for your budget. And we cannot thank you enough, Marissa, Moonlight Garden, and all our other patrons. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, you can join for as little as $1 a month, and that gets you access to our patron-only polls. If you want to weigh in on the discussion, get in on that tier, and you can contribute to what we're talking about next. You also get show notes with our $3 tier, and then also some after-hours posts. If we have any little extra tidbits after we post these episodes, we'll throw them over there on the Patreon, and that includes blog posts, photos, and other extra little tidbits. For our $5 tier, you can get in on our private Facebook community and our Discord, where we host our monthly book club meetings and we host our monthly lives, and we just started doing watch parties. So at this point, at the point of recording this, we have not hosted our first watch party yet, which is the Stevie Nicks In Your Dreams documentary. But by the time you're hearing this, that party will have already happened. So we'll let you know after that happens how it went. And yeah, I'm excited.
I hope we had fun. I'm sure we had fun. I hope your DVD is actually the movie.
I hope it's not sketchy. Titanic.
I hope it's not
What did you say? Scooby-Doo? You said it was gonna be yeah. So yeah, $5 a month on Patreon. You can get in on the Discord and the Facebook community, where we host all of those lively events that are fun. And then for our $8 tier, if you want extra audio-visual content, like the music that you hear in our songisodes, as well as any what else do we have up there? We have some meditations. You
have your live performances you did at the gig you had a couple months ago. That was over the winter. It's more than a couple months now, but like any audio-visual stuff will be over there.
Yeah. And then we have our $15 tier, which is the big one. You can get
the Wisteria Vine.
It's our Wisteria Vine tier. That's right. How could we not mention that on this episode?
Come on, guys. Come over and hang out on our Wisteria Vine with us. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. We show off our gardens. I'm going to have to show Daisha my new Wisteria, because I have not peeked in on over there.
Yeah.
Show her my Wisteria Vine. Guys, I'm Justina.
I'm Christina.
We'll see you next time.
At that house down the street, at that house on Magnolia Street, would you go down to Magnolia Street with the Wisteria girl?